You are now entering the Rawrrzone.
From olive-colored skin to chocolate brown, lipsticks and lip gloss should be color-rich, long-lasting, bold, and luscious. Bold and Luscious Cosmetics. Find them at balcosmetics.com. Complete with vitamin E, lanolin, and antioxidants, Bold and Luscious gives you soft, moisturized lips all day. Reds, nudes, pinks, darks, bright. balcosmetics.com. balcosmetics.com.
What's up, world? It's your homegirl, Ivy. This is Welcome to the Rawrrzone. Of course, you can find us on our newly revamped website, www.rawrzonenyc.com. Of course, you could catch us at our home of Elgin Sound Radio, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on the Live 365 app, and on our website, www.rawrzonenyc.com. You could catch us the next day on Booster 82.3 FM on the Live 365 app, every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to Promo God and the team at Elgin Sound Radio for everything, the platform to be able to speak freely and to enjoy independent music. Whew. Of course, so me and TJ the Grey One were talking SmackDown on SmackDown, courtesy of Ramblemania. It's our crossover collaboration, and stay tuned for more exciting collaborations coming from the boys of Ramblemania show. Whew. Tune in to I Said What I Said with Vicky Valancourt, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Rawrrzone NYC website and YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, IG Live. Then we take it to our wrestling friends with Ray Pearson in the Gorilla Talk podcast. The team is back. It's better than ever. All the content, wrestling, lifestyle, you name it, we here. You want to be part of it? Hit us up for more info at Rawrrzone NYC. A connective tissue cancer. It is a silent and deadly killer. It's taken so many good people from us, including my friend Sean. I recently went to Philadelphia, and I connected with someone named Kelly, and Kelly is going through sarcoma right now to the point where she's currently in the hospital with a fractured neck, and she's going through so much, and she is so brave, and I want all my peoples here to show support for her and drop them hearts on the bottom so she can know that everyone here is rooting for her, because here at the Rawrrzone, once you become family, you always family. But yes, please donate also to our Give Back for Sean. The link is in the description below. We're pushing to get to our $10,000 mark. We are looking to make awareness. Please feel free to ask questions. But without further ado, we're going to get into this Rawrrzone mix. As usual, if you want to promote your music, your brand, we got interviews, promotion, website promotion, playlisting. We also do bios, graphic design, photography, and more. So contact us at rawrzonenyc.com. Subscribe to our website, please. We're trying to build a community out of this. So please join us as we get into our Rawrrzone picks. This is Ray Pearson, Miami on Fordham on Welcome to the Rawrrzone on our website, www.rawrzonenyc.com. Elgin Sound Radio and Booster 82.3 FM. Let's get this shit going.
toasting. Fordham Road, see me posted. By the way, we be scoping. All these chicks who be thick, we know this, we be going. Store to store, she be glowing. She showing off with some shopping bag, she be holding. I'm like, yeah, mommy, I'm the Clyde to your body, trying to be on your body. Breath perky, never soggy. Chula, she call me Bobby, like Lottie Dottie. Body got me moving just like a zombie. This ain't Thriller, mommy, but I stab like a killer, yes. We be grooving, doesn't matter if she a Rican, Dominican, Colombian, or Cuban. She be acting naughty, hands on her knees, shorty be squatting, feeling for doggy, dropping her ass on me like I'm a party, yeah. I like Miami, but we was in New York, treating me just like champagne after popping the cork. Oh Lord, had my attention and it clearly showed. Miami United was hella hot on Fordham Road, yeah.
Flow de Miami, but she from New York. Se hizo el culo en Colombia, pero bailando el Bronx. El oscuro, el claro, ya lo mezcla. Siempre que me tira es para ponerse fresca, yeah. Flow de Miami, but she from New York. Se hizo el culo en Colombia, pero bailando el Bronx. El oscuro, el claro, ya lo mezcla. Siempre que me tira es para ponerse fresca, yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te llama? Mi nombre es Ray, pero tú just call me Suave. I figure I holler after looking from afar. I thought the sky fell, cause all I see is a star. Skin tight dress, thought it was painted on you. I'm ready for whatever orders, like I waited on you. You ain't faced by the stairs, or shorties hating on you. It's like you don't even care, I swear, the way you do your hair. Oh yeah, plus you be smelling. I'm saying you could drop it on me like I was a chair. Woo. Jet flying as if my name was Flair. I admit it, I'm stingy, I never like to share. Take me there, to your place. Those clothes I'm about to tear off your body, leave a trace. Your legs up in the air. Super pleased, the look up on your face, we laying bare. Naked, but I think I forgot your name.
Flow de Miami, but she from New York. Se hizo el culo en Colombia, pero bailando el Bronx. El oscuro, el claro, ya lo mezcla. Siempre que me tira es para ponerse fresca, yeah. Flow de Miami, but she from New York. Se hizo el culo en Colombia, pero bailando el Bronx. El oscuro, el claro, ya lo mezcla. Siempre que me tira es para ponerse fresca, yeah.
Don't play with it, bring it, come. Why you so shy, baby? You already won. Wanna put you in my favorite position. Baby, take time with it, it's a marathon. I know. You never have a man one so. No matter how close I go, I'm feeling like I can't let go.
Grips on you tightly, I can feel your temperature. Baby, why you tempting me so? I love it when you press funny enough. I love it when I can feel your temperature. Baby, why you tempting me so? Feeling like you want give me some when I pull up, don't ride. My body's on you, your body's on me. So close I can feel you breathe. Now let me give you loving endlessly, yeah. My body's on you, your body's on me. So close I can feel you breathe. Now let me give you loving endlessly, yeah.
You say I love the way you do me. Girl, my body on your body like a two-piece, yeah. We can make a little movie. And how you give it to me just like that. I know. Girl, you turn me on. The way you blow my mind so I'm tempted to touch.
Grips on you tightly, I can feel your temperature. Baby, why you tempting me so? I love it when you press funny enough. I love it when I can feel your temperature. Baby, why you tempting me so? body's on you, your body's on me. So close I can feel you breathe. I let me give you loving endlessly. You know that it's a vibe with me. When my body's on you, your body's on me. So close I can feel you breathe. I let me give you loving endlessly. Na 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 na.
I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed of being a Christian. Let me tell you, I'm one of them. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of God.
I'm one of them, and me not afraid to be a Christian man.
And I'm one of them, and guess what? You too can be one of them, and you too can reach one of them.
I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian to the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed of one of them. You can count me in it, a Christian to the end.
I'm not ashamed of the gospel. It's the power of God for salvation. You can count me in it. Ain't a the ambassador in it. Repping my side to the fullest, announcing Christ everywhere that I visit. First to the Jews and the Gentiles. Jesus is my savior. I stand firm in faith, immovable, unshakable, hanging on the word of God. You can count me in it. Ain't a the ambassador in it.
One of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian to the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed of one of them, a Christian to the end.
I am one of them, Christian until the end. I am better them, child of the better day, or the better day. Those who stand for their faith, they not ashamed of the gospel. Jesus will never deny them in front of the Father. Those who stand for their faith, they not ashamed of the gospel. Jesus will never deny them in front of the Father.
I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed. One of them, a Christian to the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed of one of them, a Christian to the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed of one of them, a Christian to the end. I'm one of them, and I'm not ashamed of one of them, a Christian to the end. And I'm not ashamed, no, one of them, a Christian to the end. One of them, and I'm not ashamed, no, one of them, a Christian to the end.
Dollars with everyone I came with. Anxious, baby, I took a chance, I got the bandwidth. Making dollars make me wanna change shit. One hell of a time on the web with the bandwidth. I gotta watch with who I bang with, connected and low key like a bandit. Way too many worry about how they man live, they just take advantage. I rip them off like bandits. A couple dollars in the hole, haze ain't empty though. I'm making something out of nothing like it's Play-Doh. I'm past due on student loans, the world so cutthroat. That's what they stand for, that's what they bang for. No my frequency sheds light that demons just can't fight. And even when I'm astray, I count my blessings and hang tight. I want the world, shit you can't buy. Dollars with everyone I came with. Anxious, baby, I took a chance, I got the bandwidth. Making dollars make me wanna change shit. One hell of a time on the web with the bandwidth. I gotta watch with who I bang with. Connected and low key like a bandit. Way too many worry about how they man it. They just take advantage. I rip them off like bandage. I woke up on the right side of the bed this morning, hungry, and I woke up hella comfy. They fed up with me, say I'm switching up like Bumblebee. I'm transforming. I got some brand new garments, and they nice, so I gotta watch who I'm courting. Now where you going, baby? Stop it. A 9-5 for $1, I'ma get it while I'm yawning. Now every day I wake up, I been to see your way out. I know you restless trying to find your way. Don't play it safe, walk it with the faith, and feel your intuition. Take a chance to paint a face. They told me I couldn't make it, but the grind don't make me lit. And time keeps ticking, they posting the same shit. Do what you do and get it how you live. Cause nothing judge you better than niggas you still with. Dollars with everyone I came with. Anxious, baby, I took a chance, I got the bandwidth. Making dollars make me wanna change shit. One hell of a time on the web with the bandwidth. I gotta watch with who I bang with. Connected and low key like a bandit. Way too many worry about how they man it. They just take advantage. I rip them off like bandits. Rip them off like bandits. Rip them off like bandits.
When it's me, myself, and Hardy, then you know to God and party. When I'm with their one-man army, we got a dove that kills, we're dropping bodies. When it's me, myself, and Hardy, then you know to God and party. Then call us crazy, call us carnies. We got a dove that kills, we're dropping bodies. You hold me down, like these straps on my vest. Your doves become my drug. If I don't get my fix, I'm a mess. You know I die for you, you kill for me. They say we're obsessed. I know we're not, but if they take you away, I'm taking their breath. I think it's only fair. Oh, homie, don't you dare. The only reason you're alive is cause she told me care. She keeps me grounded when I'm in the air. She needs me, I am there. Till death row does the spark, go get the second chance. Yeah, me, myself, and Hardy, then you know to God and party. When I'm with their one-man army, we got a dove that kills, we're dropping bodies. When it's me, myself, and Hardy, then you know to God and party. They call us crazy, call us carnies. We got a dove that kills, we're dropping bodies. When it's you who drives me crazy, self, and Hardy. We've been fighting our status, but it's still my body. They call us crazy, call it other family. If they try to take it from me, then I'm dropping bodies. They don't understand it, they see a dove, they want us to band it to each other. What we're doing is damage, another but hurt, another but pain. They call me a curse, they say that you changed. They say that I did it, that I without you, I don't want to live in it. I drain the advantage, if you leave me, I'm burned the whole planet, damn it. Let's place the world together, build it back even better. Me and you can't be severed, by my side you're always tethered. I'd rearrange your letters, you and I are stuck together. Forever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. Always Bonnie and Clyde, never would die. Forever your mind, the light in my eye, the perfect demise. We stare at the sky, you know to die, know to die, know to try to take you from mine, know where to hide. Forever your mind, take all of your time. My love is a crime, I feel like I'm high. When it's me, myself, and Hardy, then you know to God and party. When I'm with their one-man army, we got a dove that kills, we're dropping bodies. When it's
I'm by myself again. I wouldn't be my case, give me my settlement. No sentiment, just clearing out rooms without the elephant. It's evident, some believe that what happened. A bunch of pessimists, irrelevant. This put me right back into my own element. Excellent with my penmanship, well equipped cause I'm eloquent. A fiend when it comes to this rap shit, beats on my medicine. They say that I'm the shit, but not the kind that y'all be stepping in. Look, I got the juice that's spiked up with some estrogen, but I still don't get the love I deserve. I get the negligence, dirty looks with no cleanliness, no sense like it's penniless. Do I really need to draw this shit out and show the sketchiness? I write with epinephrine as soon as I grab my EpiPen. Deadliest when I'm barring the beat to death with the steadiness. Look at what they done left me with, readiness with no emptiness. I'm not a feminist, so there's nothing they can address me with. Just know that I am good with the words, boom bap I represent. I just wanna live a little, work on myself and no more mouth, I'm caught up in the middle. No more drama, only verses on some instrumentals. Yeah, just some verses on some instrumentals. I just wanna live a little, work on myself and no more mouth, I'm caught up in the middle. No more drama, only verses on some instrumentals. It's really time for me to give my ass a push and make shit happen. I've been preaching to the choir how they been stacking, acting like they don't know what I'm saying, like a thick accent. I'm Puerto Rican that speaks dirty. Pig laugh. I'm a bit drastic, I flip words like it's gymnastics. I don't give a shit about a charge, I carry thick plastics. They mad that my flow stays current, I never been stagnant. Miss traffic, moving so freely, listen a bit maverick. Spit magic, no need for captains, stop for the quick hat-tricks. Distractions, all of these actors good with the theatrics. In numbers, part of a whole, I'm speaking in fractions. It happens more that you know it, I'm here to spit factors. Truth for the impactors, food for the script masters. The ones that be writing with bars and making hits after that. Zen masters, calmly created, aiming a bit faster. Hitting their target with ease, these are the big factors. I just wanna live a little, work on myself and no more mouth, I'm caught up in the middle. No more drama, only verses on some instrumentals. Yeah, just some verses on some instrumentals. I just wanna live a little, work on myself and no more mouth, I'm caught up in the middle. No more drama, only verses on some instrumentals. Hitting their target with ease, these are the big facts. No more drama, only verses on some instrumentals. I'm Puerto Rican that speaks dirty.
You ready? Alright, chin up this war. Lady, you good?
Pull up with that blinky on them, put that fear of God in them. Swerving in that ghost, course you know they'll think it's God in it. Spirit, dry to flow, we got soul, this is God business. Ski mask, if you know, then you know, leave no eyewitness. Don't worry about taking my place, I'm with God so I'm keeping the faith. So much records up in the storage, we can release one like every day. So many hits we scheduled on calendars, look at the proof so I'm resting my case. All that negative shit y'all be talking, man, just keep that shit on my face. Picture me entertaining the garbage, I don't get paid to be dealing with waste. All that talk about keeping it real, got no time to be dealing with fakes. I see the good in everybody, ain't got time to be dealing with hate. All my melodies out of this world, might as well be floating in space. Plus these bars that I be landing, be on board, y'all stuck in the gate. And I'm still on that hunger for more, there's not enough right here on my plate. All this animosity, when it could've simply been love. You may think it is what it is, so with you it was what it was. Pull up with that blinky on them, put that fear of God in them. Swerving in that ghost, course you know they'll think it's God in it. Spirit, dry to flow, we got soul, this is God business. Ski mask, if you know, then you know, leave no eyewitness.
What that look like being broke? What that look like being fake? How you wanna be so woke but sleep on me like every day? Man, it's gotta be a joke, the way y'all never stay in your place. Oh, you wanna speak on me? Tell them how I'm taking no breaks. Yeah, I put that fear of God in a way up inside of her. Told that I don't fuck with hoes, I don't see the God in her. Bitch, just read the ambience, don't not make it obvious. Straight out of jerks, just my web, don't get caught in it. You could take my nigga, ho. Trust me, I'll be fine with it. If you know, then you know. I ain't even fond of it. Bitch, don't be so dumb. I ain't done. I take time with it. If it's me, then it's me. He feel like he a god in it.
Pull up with that blinky on him, put that fear of God in him. Swerving in that ghost, course you know they'll think it's God in it. Spirit dry to flow, we got soul. This is God business. Ski mask, if you know, then you know. Leave no eyewitness.
You know I got a 360 on the door jet ski. I'm the one like Jet Li. When pussy get pot like Pepsi, Rebecca gon' text me. Now that's sexy. They call me the new Joe Pesci, a big Wayne Gretzky. So don't test me. I'm strapping a shoe with the lefty, the man of the century. Now come get me. Butter posted up on the block with some fly bitches. Stupid niggas always in they feelings tend to die quicker. We watching ya, better pray that God with ya. Your mom, your sister, your girl be back and forth picture.
Pull up with that blinky on him, put that fear of God in him. Swerving in that ghost, course you know they'll think it's God in it. Spirit dry to flow, we got soul. This is God business. Ski mask, if you know, then you know. Leave no eyewitness. Pull up with that blinky on him, put that fear of God in him. Swerving in that ghost, course you know they'll think it's God in it. Spirit dry to flow, we got soul. This is God business. Ski mask, if you know, then you know. Leave no eyewitness.
With that blinky on him, put that fear of God in him. Put that fear of God in him.
Swear to God, they ain't talking about us. They some nobody.
Is you saying you would take it personal if they was somebody?
I don't know, but with the ink we murder ops, murder earth.
And in the streets we run this shit like MOB. Where's the John God? Look the way I'm shining, you can see me from the top. Look, pussy liquid, blind them with the glisten. When
What's up, or we here? How you feeling this, Suave?
I'm good. Gil, I'm good.
You were supposed to be here though, but now you in Bainville.
Yeah, I'm in the Lost City.
I don't know, man. So, but we here. This is Welcome to the Rawrrzone on our website, www.rawrzonenyc.com. We're airing Mondays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if it works out with this live stuff, possibly on Thursdays, but we're still going to talk about that at a later date. Of course, you can catch us Tuesdays on Elgin Sound Radio on the Live 365 app at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we hit Pulse 82.3 FM in Ohio and 150 other countries. Salute to the promo god and everyone on both Team Elgin Sound Radio and Team Pulse 82.3 FM. Shout out to the Flea DJs taking care of my boy over there in Suaveville.
Hey.
You know, someone over here is an ambassador now, I heard. You all fancy a moderator, whatever they call it.
Yeah, I get to ask the juicy questions.
You know, so we thought we'd bring him back into the Rawrrzone to get his interviewing skills on. But I'm dumb excited for today because this was very much a few weeks in the making. If you see my guest here, it's kind of a legendary night right now. The Mets are in the National League right now. We're here doing. New York is going great right now. The Giants are actually winning a football game this season. But we got over here, all the way to my far left, Mr. Keith Shocklee, one of the founding members of the legendary production team, the Bomb Squad, and the key architect behind the revolutionary sound of Public Enemy. My grammar sucks, so I had to actually do this poll properly. His groundbreaking work has not shaped just the sound of a group that redefined the music in the 80s and the 90s, but influenced the entire genre of hip-hop, from politically charged beats to sonically innovative soundscapes. Keith has been the forefront of the most important movements in music history. His work speaks for itself, but his passion and insight continue to push the boundaries of what hip-hop is. Next to me is one of the boldest people I've ever seen on social media ever. Miss Mandy Mayhem is a force of nature who's been shaking the hip-hop scene with her bold, unapologetic style. She's an artist, performer, a show host, you said at one point, right, Ray?
Yeah.
See, he was going to the mega deep. Like, research. Her journey into hip hop has been one of the breaking barriers and defying expectations. For her sharp lyricism and her infectious energy, she's here to inspire the next generation and speak her truth. So the fact that we got the originators and we have the future of hip hop, and then we got hip hop over there. It's a good day for creativity all over. So I welcome everyone to welcome to the Rawrrzone today. Woo! Yay! So guys, we usually start off with like a vibe check. How are we feeling? You know, introduce yourselves outside of what we say. So we'll start with you, Mr. Keith.
Keith Shocklee, producer, DJ, total clown, tech guy. I'm a tech dude. Been doing this since, I don't know, since 74. Pretty long time. I'm really old.
No.
I'm really old. So
you look so young. Stop
oh, thank you. I just the hair. Been doing, yeah. I mean, started this when it was what do you call it? Just did it. Then turned it into hip hop. Pretty cool. For people that didn't know what they was gonna do with their lives. Now we make a living at it. Pretty good.
Yeah. Yourself?
And go Mets.
Yes!
Yes!
I'm Mandy Mayhem. That introduction was incredible. I'm an actor, writer. I think writer is probably the first thing I would call myself. Rapper also, obviously, but writing is the through line through all of it. So vibe check today, I am so happy because I met Big Bird. I went to the Museum of Moving Pictures here in Astoria, and they had the original Big Bird costume from the 70s. They had Miss Piggy from 1984 in her wedding dress with her dirty little nose, and I'm so happy. I feel like I relived my childhood today, and I'm from Toronto, so go Blue Jays. Right? Is it baseball? Yeah, this is baseball, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go Blue Jays.
You got this, Mama. Don't worry.
They're not in the playoffs. But
Okay, well, I don't even.
It's okay.
The last time I watched the Blue Jays game was 1993 when they won the World Series back to back.
Oh, that was a cheat.
That's actually a lyric in one of my songs.
That was a shot to me. Like they went back to back.
It was a lyric in one of my songs. Make you come back to back like the Blue Jays. 92, you were sliding into home base.
Whoa! I didn't hear that.
No one ever catches that lyric. It's not in a new song. It's an old.
I know.
My God, is the truth. I know. No one ever listens.
I mean, I quite 92 because that's the year I was born. So.
Oh, that's the year my son was born.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, what's his sign?
What's his sign? Virgo.
Okay, we get along. I'm a Gemini.
Oh, I'm a Gemini. We get along unless you're parent-child, because he was eternally frustrated with me. Because Geminis are like, I think I'm gonna do a new thing now. I'll be like, we're leaving the house in 20 minutes, and then 25 minutes goes by, and he starts losing his mind. And he's like, "You said 20." I'm like, take it easy.
I mean, he has to deal with me, so he already knows.
Are you a Virgo?
No. That's
Capricorn.
But my best friend is a Virgo.
Okay.
Yeah, so she helped me run because I started before anything, like he met me as a photographer. By trade. And then somehow I always say this because it's not an exaggeration. I got locked in the basement at a hip hop showcase. And this dude had an online radio station and was like, you should do, because I was here talking shit because I was locked in the basement. So what the hell am I supposed to do? You know, I'm watching these artists, but back then I wasn't involved in hip hop like I am now. So I was just like, okay, can I go home now? Like, no, okay, you really that desperate to keep people here though? Okay. My dream reached to 1 a.m. and I ended up with a radio career after that.
Nice.
And met him.
It was perfect.
But Suave, what's your vibe before we start rambling?
All right, so for those who don't know, my name is Ray Pearson, hip hop / Latin hip hop recording artist, podcast host.
on Cage with Ray, one half of the Gorilla Talk podcast. Vibe check, I am just getting over head cold. Usually left with like a little sore throat, normally after like a 24-hour little situation. So yeah, if my voice doesn't seem like it's 100%, I'm still coming back to normal.
Good to have you back, Suave. Welcome back to the Rawrrzone. Eventually, we got to do the Gorilla Talk podcast, but
Eventually.
My vibe for today, extremely sleepy. We got up. First of all, I don't like getting woken up way before I'm supposed to, so people got to get it together on that aspect because I got up way earlier than I was supposed to, and it wasn't Mello's fault. And Mello's my dog. We ended up going early though to West Orange because the Sarcoma Foundation of America was hosting the Race to Cure Sarcoma in West Orange. Me and my boyfriend, we shot the Philly race. We did West Orange. We're hoping next year to get the New York races. I advocate for the Sarcoma Foundation. A friend of mine advocated for it before he passed away in 2017. You know, we started building more awareness because it's one of those cancers that in the adult population, it's going to affect maybe 1 to 5% of adults. But when you look into the rate of juvenile cancers, 15 to 20% is sarcoma. And it affects especially like the soft tissue, the bone, especially the bones. Like I met somebody in Philly where she's currently in the hospital right now because her bones have been debilitated from the sarcoma that she fractured her neck and now she has a lesion in it because of the cancer. You know, the Sarcoma Foundation right now is working, I believe, in 12 states with races, kind of like the night walk and what's the big one that they do, Relay for Life, and they go around they do for runners they do a 5K and then they have for the people that want to walk a 2K. You know, so it's pretty dope to see other people going through certain things, and we have our give back coming up in October and in December, so it's always good to remind yourself what you're going through could be so small compared to what these people are going through, and it's good to just be around that type of event. People want something good, so I'm in a good mood to that, and my nephew is here, so I can't really be upset around him. You know. But yeah, so we did the vibes. I know our friend over here is chilling right now. V. What's your name again, sir? V. 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 That was easy. That was hella easy. I like that. Right? So, Ray, how about you kick it off for us?
All right, Mandy. Who are your biggest influence and how have they shaped your style?
In hip hop or in which way?
In hip hop.
In hip hop. So Jay-Z is a huge influence of mine. I would say that he has shaped my style in the way that he approaches where he lives within the space of a beat, how he moves around on a track as though he were an improvisational jazz artist. I studied the history of jazz when I was in university, just took one course. It wasn't my major, but I took one course and that really affected me. When I learned about the connection between culture and the music itself, and how the inventors of jazz, it went back to minstrel shows and the slaves on the plantations, and how music evolved from that point into becoming what was, jazz, and then more and more and more. So the very act of making of creating a rhythm that is unexpected within a framework is still and was revolutionary. So him, I think, and now that he's matured so much as an artist, whether or not he was conscious of the political statement of like how he was shaping his rhymes. I don't know now. I'm sure he is, but that affected me because when I heard him, it took a while for me to make that connection too. I think it was like learning the song Renegade, which I cover a lot in my live streams. It's probably my favorite hip hop song. You know, everyone, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, I think Eminem, was like his verses are so good in that song. But then when I tried to learn it, I couldn't catch Jay's flow because it's so abstract. And a lot of people miss that and think that Eminem is, you know, has won that song or whatever. He has a hard. I totally disagree. I think if you try to learn it, you'll see how effective that is. And then like other influences are in other genres for me. You know, like Blondie she was in hip hop too, but I think just her as an artist and the way that she built a bridge between pop music and hip hop in the early days is something that I'm not doing now. I mean, hip hop is a mature art form at this point, but I see myself as building bridges between communities through my work. And I know that in my live streams, I bring a lot of people into hip hop that wouldn't necessarily listen to it. I get that all the time. I have like some older fans that are in the South. There's one woman, she's in Oklahoma. She's been watching me since almost day one. And she sent me a message in my Discord. And she said, I didn't know anything about hip hop before I started watching your show. And I went and I started researching it. And I found this song and it's called The Message. And it's so powerful. And she runs a Meals on Wheels for homeless folks in a small town in Oklahoma. And the message spoke to her so much today. She'd never heard it before. So it's just like, I love the ability of hip hop to reach across every kind of boundary possible. There's something about the humanity of the art form and how political it is and how raw it is that still speaks to people today. And then not just because Keith is here, but Public Enemy was a huge influence on me as a kid. I always say I didn't know there was a power to fight until I heard the song Fight the Power. Like I was, you know, it was 89, right? So I was like, I was 13-ish, 14 when it came out. And I knew I was angry and stuff didn't make sense, but I didn't there's something about the power of that song that really affected me. And the contrast between Chuck and Flav's voices and the chaos of the music, it spoke to an emotion that I didn't understand how to express as a young girl, especially. You're not allowed to get angry, you know. So there's another little story behind that. When I first started doing hip hop karaoke, which is a huge part of my journey, I was in London at this place called The Social, and they have a hip hop karaoke party that I think is still going. This was probably in the 2000s, somewhere, 2007. And this woman came up to me after I performed, and she's like, "Do you do this? Are you a rapper? Because I would pay to watch you rap." And I was like, "I don't know. I don't have my own music." She's like, "Why not?" And I said, "I'm not angry enough to rap." Is that really what you said? That's what I said. But I was like, this is a long time ago. And then, you know, because of the feeling that women aren't allowed to be angry like that in public, right? But I was angry when I expressed the songs, but it was in the safety of like someone else's lyrics. To write my own was very scary and vulnerable to show how angry I was. Then, you know, I hit 40 and just got really mad. And like, I don't know if I'm not alone, I'm sure, in being angry at this stage, but I really appreciate this art form as a way for me to express all of these emotions that aren't really normally allowed for women.
So, I mean, since you talked about our other esteemed guest over here, how did you two end up working together?
I think I ran across on Instagram post. She did a Biggie rap. It was a tree trunk. It was down a tree trunk. And at that time, me and a bunch of other people ran across that. And I just thought it was clever that she did that, a white lady doing, a white woman doing a Biggie rhyme, but changed the words like, because Biggie kind of does that with other people's. He kind of like plays around with his phrases and stuff like that. And when she did her own lyric to it, I just thought it was crazy. I was like, and everybody else that saw it thought it was crazy. Because we never seen nothing like that before.
So my question for you, right? Because here you are applauding it, you know, there's still a lot of naysayers behind it. How have you been keeping your bravado? Like, you don't give a fuck about nobody. I love it though.
Well, I do. Sometimes it really does get to me.
Well,
absolutely.
This is one of the reasons why we kind of connected.
Okay.
Naysayers. It's not the first white person I worked with. Artists, rap artists, young black teenagers, or white guys calling themselves black. Oh, we got a lot of them. We didn't care. I didn't care. Because I'm about the talent. And with hip hop, we got gatekeepers. I'm in a war with a bunch of gatekeepers about how this stuff is, but that's another stuff.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, we're not going to name names, but there's.
We're not going to name names, but we got there's gatekeepers.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard of the gatekeepers. Like, even in, I guess, what are they calling now? The indie street, Damon? Right?
Yeah, like the.
So, like, on an independent level, it's like pettier than what you would see coming out of the mainstream. Like, we have people saying, for an example, I'm not saying it actually happened. Ray's hip hop is not valid because he does Latin rap crossovers. And like, we have sometimes the black rappers being prejudiced to the Latino rappers, and you arguing because hip hop is supposed to be all black. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. That's always going to be the topic of conversation because of the origins of hip hop and the involvement of the Hispanics. I usually like tell them, was like, well, shit, Beach Street, they had they had a Spanish graffiti artist with them. So it's like, like it's always going to be that conversation is always going to be a battle, just like the Caucasians that do hip hop and the it's just the gatekeepers is wild.
It's crazy because it can be a real crazy battle, but everybody's just thinking of their own terms and what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's about. Everybody knows how this got down, and when you stand on that point, see, I stand on how it really happened. It was everybody in this culture, especially in New York City. So the culture is one, the music is another situation, which is rap is part of hip hop. People treat rap music like that is a part of it. But everybody's going to dilute it. They want to dilute the stuff. The Latinos is just as strong and involved in this and here's another culture that everybody forget. The Jamaicans were really big in this culture. Everybody forget about that. And
because sound culture,
the sound class culture came from the DJ world. So that was big in New York City. And if you want to talk about it, Flash, Grandmaster Flash, he's from the islands. Kool Herc is from the islands. So they don't talk about that part. So I just, there's a lot of noise. They don't talk about that. Yeah, they don't talk about that. So a lot of it is noise. And one thing about me and Mandy, we got together, ain't nobody can do. Ain't nobody can talk me out of what I can't do. They try, but I know this better than a lot of people.
It's interesting. There's a lot of people that are in hip hop that I'll meet up with, and they'll post a picture with me or whatever. And every single person that I have met up with, or someone who's like in the industry that posts something of mine or supports me, always comes back to me and says, "Wow, I'm shocked at how much pushback I got for that." Like, they don't think that it's still there, but it really is. And like, I realized early, so the first video of mine that went viral was the the Jay-Z cover I did, You Don't Know. And that was in my live stream on TikTok. And someone screen recorded it, put it on Twitter, and said, Granny's going ham in the live right now. And my friend Marquise, his name's Phantom, he's a battle rapper. We've known each other for 10 years. He sent me the message. He's like, you're going viral. And I was like, oh God, did they have to say Granny? Like, here we go. But because I was a meme, there was no name, no one knew who I was, and it was just going like crazy, World Star Hip Hop, Power 106, like it was everywhere. It was awful. The comments were horrendous. Because it wasn't like, their comments are horrendous on my own account, but it was worse because I wasn't a human, I'm just a meme. And I cried for a week. Like I was devastated because it was the thing that I was afraid of. I really didn't rap for almost 10 years. Like I stopped doing it because I thought when the Black Lives Matter protests got bigger, and there were the bigger protests, you know, during the pandemic and all of that, I just was like, I don't know what I don't know. I need to check myself. I want to make sure that I'm not hurting this culture that I love so much. I don't want to be appropriating. I want to make sure that I have a clean conscience about it. And so I stopped. And so then I started rapping again a month before that went viral. And I just did it because I was at my wit's end with my acting career. I couldn't take it anymore, the ridiculous shit I was getting auditions for. And I went on TikTok and started rapping. And it was insane. Right away, the first night, 10,000 people watched. And every night, I had nights of like 170,000 people watching my live stream. And so it was just going like crazy. And then the backlash came. And I was like, oh my God, this is the thing I was the most afraid of. And what I realized is that I'm right with myself. Like I took the time to get right with myself. It's like your relationship with God. You know, no one can tell you how to have a relationship with the divine. It's your walk, your specific walk with the divine, no matter what you believe. And it's private and personal. And I have a private and personal relationship with rap, with hip hop, with music, with the arts. And I'm not letting anyone take that away from me. So as much as sometimes it hurts my feelings, it hurts my ego, I know what it feels like to not do it. And that's the reason I keep going, because it hurts more to not do it than to have someone, you know, attack me for doing it.
The thing is that within the culture, right? Within the culture, there are radicals within the culture. And the same thing you've gone through, I'm pretty sure Emma's gone through it. Vanilla Ice has gone through it. It's a shame that the radicals within the culture will get at people because they don't have the same skin tone as them. But it's also them same radicals within the culture that act like that with their own. Like music is universal, hip hop is universal. They're even bashing people overseas, like in Korea and in Europe, because they're making hip hop. But how I look at it is that they're the ones that are actually keeping the real hip hop culture alive. Over like I say it all the time, like we're stuck in this tri-state bubble that what they think that what's in what we're being force fed is it, and it's not it. You know, there's a lane for everybody. And so, you know, I salute everybody overseas that's keeping real hip hop alive. And it's not just rapping. It's DJing, it's graffiti, it's breaking. You know, there's more to hip hop than just making words rhyme, and people forget that.
Have you seen the videos of Iranian women protesting using hip hop in their protests as call and response, rapping? Like, it is still a language of dissonance around the world. That is what resonates with people. how is it that you have an art form that's 50 years old that still goes straight to the heart of protest and politics and speaking truth to power? It's incredible that has been maintained in this art form for 50 years. It's just so inspiring.
This conversation will go real deep.
Listen, man,
Oh, yeah.
I love it. You know,
Because we all love it. We all love hip hop.
I mean, I love it. I have perspective. I have different things, and when you've been around this from the beginning, you know why it's where it is. So when they see, I'm going to go a little deep real quick. When they see white people rapping, they don't even understand that who actually makes the money off of it. That's if they want to say something, it's the label owners of the major labels. I mean, none of them was black. They all was white, pushing their agenda so everybody can make money. The bottom line to this game, when we started it, was something we did in the streets. It was just an alternative of us just having some fun in the streets. Then it became a business. Then people realize they can get rich doing this. So when you look at the point that you can really make, today is different now, whole other game. But then when you look at it, the point where you can actually make money doing rap, you become a regular artist, but it's a whole other concept. The whole dynamic changes. But let's go back to the basis of why rap was invented. It was done with people that didn't have anything. We didn't have, we couldn't, especially black people, we wasn't really allowed into the nightclubs, or we wanted to play music in the streets. And then the two turntables became a phenomenon. But it always spoke to people that didn't have. And there's a lot of people around the world that don't have. That's why everybody gravitates to it. And hip hop related to somebody in Shanghai because we talked about what we wanted to have. And if you're a poor Asian person in Shanghai, you want the same thing that the rich one. So that's, and everybody forget that meaning and forget what it's about, But everybody had their own interpretation.
So you had said that what you were telling us about your journey, especially about figuring out yourself through this whole thing. You said you were virtually nameless, being that you were just a meme. How'd you come up with the character of Mandy Mayhem?
At hip hop karaoke, I started going there. I want to say it was like 2010 or something. Maybe even earlier. And there was one particular night at hip hop karaoke that I decided to rename myself. There was a fan there the month before. It was a monthly party, and my name is Mandy May Cheatham. And I think I would just say it's Mandy, going up. But for some reason, this guy knew my last name, and he said, "You should call yourself Mandy Mayhem." And because it's Mandy May Cheatham, it is an amalgamation of my middle name and my last name. And I was like, that's brilliant. So I decided to rename myself, and I did my favorite song at the time, which is still in my top 5, which is "You Don't Know," the one that I was doing the cover of when it went viral by Jay-Z, and just Lace. And I did it that night, and I baptized myself with gin. I threw gin. I don't drink anymore, but I threw gin on my face and called myself Mandy Mayhem. I don't think anyone understood what was going on, ritualistically, but it was a very important thing for me. So I named myself that character. But there's something about being on stage. It wasn't a conscious thing to be this is a character, but there's something about that happens to me when I start rapping. It's I'm a different person, and it's because there's freedom there to express the rage and the sexuality. those are things that I cannot express safely out in the street. If I walk around like her, someone's coming up to me and wants a piece of me. And so I do it on stage where no one can touch me, and I can like taunt everyone and whatever, and then they can't get me, basically.
Interesting.
That's pretty fire, because like even me myself, when I'm on stage, is like I'm in a safe place, and even someone as Michael Jackson has even expressed that when he's on stage, he's in a safe space, and it's just like is like the disconnect when someone's off stage. Like I'm not antisocial, so but I'm someone that likes to read the room. But like when I'm on stage, it's like a whole different energy. It's like I get to like shake the bottle and open the top on stage and just like let loose. And by the way, I did see your Onyx Slam video. Do you take like, how has the hip hop karaoke applied to like your stage presence?
Well, even further back than that, I used to run a cheerleading company. So I trained cheerleaders all over the world, and I was a cheerleader in university and high school and cheer games. And that's where my crowd control comes from. That insanity that you see when I'm performing is because I was one of the best cheerleaders in the world. Like, actually, I trained the Chinese national team. I was all over Europe training national teams and, world's level competitive teams. So, yeah, that's where the energy comes from for sure. It's that training of how to make the crowd do what I want. From basically yelling rhyming words at drunk people at football games. It's the same shit. I'm yelling rhyming words at drunk people in a club. It's no difference. Yeah.
So, sir, my question for you, because I remember about 6 months ago, I sat online with Joe Condo, and he talked to me, photographer to photographer, about like him coming up with DJ Cool Herc, and with like literally he's the photographer, hip hop baby photographer. Excuse me. Being that you're one of the first producers to really come out in hip hop, what was life for you like back then?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, it was kind of different. And Joe is the man. The pictures, with all the pictures of everybody. It was a little different from us coming from Long Island, because Long Island was known as rich kids. We had houses. And we have our sections. People did live in apartments, but for the most part, people had their own house. And we was the people, or the space where it's like, oh, y'all don't really count because y'all not living like the way we live. But that's a lie. They found out real quick that it wasn't true. And I think Long Island is a migrant, mostly people from the city, from the boroughs. Brooklyn is part of Long Island, which they never wanted to say. So is Queens. And I live in Nassau County, which is right next to Queens. So the Bronx was mainly the main part, and Harlem was the other side. So when you have that, and it going down mostly in the Bronx, as far as the new style of DJing, from Flash and Theodore and MCing, and the MC was the secondary until the record started to be made. Then they became the first, and then everybody turned into rappers. So it wasn't even about the MCing; it was about who's rocking the party. But us from Long Island, because we was looked at as kind of like rich kids, y'all ain't real rappers. That's so it was that kind of thing. And then we had to show and prove with our skills, because the older cats, the original cats, they got stuck in a way of rhyming that was becoming boring and predictable. So the new cats are starting to come. The Queens guys, and then us in the Long Island, we kind of changed it from the Queens cats, and then the Brooklyn came back around, and it's a whole phenomenon of things. But we was, like I said, we was one of those cats. I remember we did a gig at the now closed Rawrrzone, and the music when we did our first album, the great Melly Mel from the Furious Five was killing us in the crowd. Get out of here! That shit is whack. Mr. Magic thought our music was trash, but like Mandy said, we kept our persistence, and we got better at rhyme skills and style and music production. So I think because in the early music of hip hop, the bands replayed the songs mostly. So if you took Good Times from Now Rawrrzone Shoot, they will go in, especially at what's a crazy story. They will go in and get a band to replay it. DJs wouldn't cut up records. When it came to the later part, when Marley Marl coming out of Queensbridge, he started doing stuff. It was more like, well, we're going to sample this. And then that technique became the main thing. Or we'll just find pieces of records and sample that instead of finding a band, because the band costs money. You got to pay for the drummers, guitar players, the studio session, and that became crazy inexpensive. So having that and the technology of production got better. So that's where the producer became the thing. But it was always a war between Long Island, the suburbs, Nassau County, Suffolk County, and the tri-state area. It was always that. It wasn't that thing.
So can I be the one to instigate something right now? Which borough have the trashiest rappers?
Which borough have the trashiest rappers?
Yeah.
I don't know if they have the trashiest rappers, but there are just some rappers that are just trash. Everybody got them. Everybody got them.
Listen, they gotta be one borough.
Everybody, there's no one borough. No.
They gotta be that one borough that has like the most. Like you remember William Hung from American Idol? There's always that one person that's so bad that
those people would get beat up. Yeah. You couldn't get away. Yo, like everything that everybody's going to make, the stuff that Mandy's talking about when she went through it, because like that was us coming up, but we didn't have social media. We couldn't go to a function. Yo, I'm a new rapper down in Long Island. No, and the parties happening in the Bronx or something like that. It was everybody went to this. It was so what I said, not divisive. That's when rhymes started to become. People started battling each other, on records. You got the Kumo D and LL. So you got the Queens dealing against the Bronx. So you always had that. And to say who's the trashiest, I don't know. There's just some bad people that come around. But,
nothing notable?
Nah.
I honestly don't think anything's trash.
Okay.
Yeah, I
no, there's some things that are trash.
No.
But
like I love listening to stuff that's bad. I like seeing bad theater like that because you learn so much when something is not good. It's like because you're sitting there, for example, watching a bad play. You're sitting there the whole time going, oh, why is the blocking like this? Why did that person look at their scene partner? Why is their back to the audience? Whatever's going on, it reminds you of the fundamentals. So when you hear bad rap, it reminds you of the fundamentals. Like as an artist, what happens is when you learn, your brain does things in different parts of the brain. So when you're learning something in the beginning, it's in the front part of your brain, like, and it takes 5 skills, like say to learn a golf swing. You're going to be like, grab the handle, look at the ball, pull back, swing. And then you take those 4 things and you put them to the back of your brain and it becomes swing the club. And your body remembers it after doing it so many times. Those 4 things becomes one impulse in your brain. Then you can start to make little changes. So when you get really good at a skill, you forget what went into it. You forget the 5 things, the 6 things, the 200, the 2,000 things you've had to learn and make adjustments until you see someone else doing it and you're like, oh, I remember that. And it brings you back to being able to tweak things about your own work. And sometimes, you know, I think everyone has really interesting creative impulses, and that if you watch someone who's whack or whatever, that they're going to do something interesting. They're going to make you think at some point that can inspire you. It doesn't mean I'm going to listen to the record.
You know, you have those points from a technical standpoint. You're absolutely right. This is a feeling thing. It's like you get better watching people get booed.
Yeah.
He tracks. I'm not going to do that. So you have a perspective of your crowd or your audience that you're performing in front of.
Yeah.
There are things that people do like as a total. Like I say, you are right. You can learn from bad actors. Bad actors are because you're like, well, he did that, that didn't work. Then you start to figure out, well, why did that didn't work? He just didn't relate to the people that he was. So now you come back.
We were listening to those tracks the other day that we were like listening to the mixes, and we're like, oh, this is, why are the vocals always buried in modern tracks? Like, what's going on? And like us analyzing why I love the track, but all of a sudden on my phone the mix sounds weird, and that was helping us in a mistake that like a very big record has made in terms of the way that they mix their stuff. So like it helps, it sharpens the.
Well, it does. That's why what we do when we mix, I know it is part of the game. When we mix, we compare it to the hit sounds, the hit songs. Why is this a hit? There's a reason why these songs are a hit. So when you're mixing a song, that's why you make your comparison. So you're on the same playing field. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing. Listen to a bad rapper, like, well, why does he suck? Well, he's using bad words. Like what I mean by words that just doesn't catch people on a rhyme. You know, there's an energy that we have in the streets that we do, and if you're in the streets, now I ain't talking about the drill rappers, but just going to parties, going to events, seeing other gigs, seeing why these rappers won't make it, and then you come back to your level of skill, right? Finding the words that gets people excited and how it fits on the technique, how it's said, how you get it across. That's what we do, you know, in the studio.
So before we keep going into more questions, we got 2 of Mandy's tracks out, right? Well, at least queued up in here because we just got the video to stop playing everyone else's stuff. So I have your hit single right now, Never Too Late, and then I have the other video that we were talking about before. Which one do you want to go on first?
Never Too Late.
All right, so tell us a little bit about it.
It started as the 50-foot verse. Keith had a track, like an idea of a bit of a snippet of a song, and it was like our first day maybe in the studio together, and I just started like rapping all these different lyrics I had over this beat, and I like mushed them all together, and it was like a 6-minute verse. And he's like, that, I want to do that, because there were some big producers that were saying bad things about me, and he's like, it's for that. What's like you? It says you rap on your IG, so let's show them you can rap, and let's just go, you know, for the whole thing. And so we had that for a while. Actually, when he first gave me the beat, I actually was like, I don't think I can rap on this, because the way it was very sparse, and it was like he had that DJ cut in it where it slides on that. It's on the 4th beat.
Yeah,
it goes. And it was like I was losing the beat, and I was like, wait, what? And I don't know if I was just like super intimidated, like this is the first time I'm making a song with him, or like why I couldn't find the beat. And I called Fat Lip, who's from the Far Side. He's like a friend of mine. I've known him for 10 years. Also, he like mixed one of my songs he was in my show, my TV show. And I was like, dude, I'm freaking out. I can't figure this out. And so finally I had to do a scratch track. I had to get you to just play the drums. and I just rapped on the drums. And that was how we discovered how into the drums I am. Like, it's like, that's everything for me when I'm rapping, because I want to push up against it. And if it's not like prominent enough, it affects me. Like, every noise that's in the track affects me, and I'll try to bounce off it. So I was trying to bounce off this like slide, and that's why I was getting lost in it. Don't tell anyone that. Don't want anyone to know.
We won't tell anybody.
Yeah,
your secret safe with us.
Yeah. So then I sat on the track for a while, right? Like a few months. I think I went back to LA, and then I sat on it, and I just kept thinking, you know, never too late has been my thesis for a long time, because I started acting when I was 35. I'm a late bloomer across the board, and so there's this quote from George Eliot. George Eliot is a writer who is a woman from, I'm going to say, mid 1800s, but I could be wrong about the time frame. But she said, "It's never too late to be who you may have been," and that's a quote I've hung on to since university, because I had my son when I was really young, and I started. My life always felt very out of order. So never too late. There was, oh my God, a lot of these lyrics came from a song I wrote for an America's Got Talent audition. They reached out to me and they were like, "We think you'd be great on the show. Can you write a song for the about the judges?" I was like, "Are you gonna pay me?" Like, we'll fly you to LA. I was like, "I live in LA," and they're like, "Okay, well, you got like lunch." I'm like, oh God, I hate this industry. I was just so mad at it at the time. But I ended up being like, okay, fine, it could be an opportunity. I'm just saying yes to everything. So I wrote a song. They didn't like it. I almost made the show. They asked me again, like the next season they were taping, and I just was like, no. So I really distracted me when you did that.
Oh.
I like totally lose my place. So anyway, so the lyrics came from that. I was imagining myself on stage and like speaking to a general population, like trying to write something clean and just speaking to the thesis of like what my shit is about, which is that it's never too late, and talking a little bit about the journey of, facing the criticism and how the internalized criticism, like there's a line, my inner critic was being belligerent, is what was happening in my brain, waiting for my life to begin. It never did. My inner critic was being belligerent. I kept waiting for something to happen and realizing that I was the thing that was in the way of making my life happen. So there's a lot in this song. And eventually when I came back to the studio, we had a long talk about breaking it up and making it a more traditional song structure. And then Keith, like, the process is really magical. When, in my opinion, it's unlike any producer I've worked with, where, Keith will give me a framework, and then I'll write lyrics and then do a scratch track, and then he'll build the song around my lyrics. And then I'll practice the song more, and then come back and lay it down again with the musicality that he's brought through the new layers, and then he'll go back at it. So it's like back and forth. It reminds me of my favorite choreographer, Bob Fosse, the way that he used to choreograph his numbers. He did Chicago. He did the movie All That Jazz, which was incredible, one of my favorite movies. Cabaret, he did that film with Liza Minnelli, all the choreography. He's that interesting, like weird jazz style that everyone was doing. That was him. So, but he would create the poses and the choreography based on the body of the dancer, not just like, here's the choreography, everybody learn it and fit to my style. And he had ideas, but it was based on the body. So it's like, that's what it feels like working with Keith, because we took the time to get to know each other. He took the time to understand what my voice could do and was able to shape music around the capabilities of my voice. And I've had this problem across my career, from acting to music to whatever. It's like, I have a very like weird combination of skill sets, and people don't know what to do with me. So I we figured a lot of it out. Like there's still more to do. But
Still know we can use
yeah,
that.
but
we did figure it out.
Yeah.
It's that's just to me an old school production. It's crazy. I just saw a thing on Instagram with Rick Rubin because we come from that world. So he was doing what's the Anderson Cooper, and Anderson Cooper. So you don't play any instruments. He was like, no, not really. You don't engineer the system. No, I don't know how to do that either. But what makes you so good at what you do? He said, I sit and listen. And I figure out what people need to do. That's an old technique that nowadays nobody does that anymore. The new artists don't do that. They just give me a track. Dre still does that. That's why Kendrick Lamar is dope. It's those processes that real producers, that's why Babyface will always make a great hit. Because it's one is about him when he does it, but it's how it works with the artist. And rapper, we work with the artists. It's like, okay, this is your frequency. Let's put this music in that frequency.
Like Ice Cube, I didn't know that you guys did America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
And when there's our next single that's coming out, Beaver Trap, is when he first played it for me, I was like, that sounds so West Coast. And he's like, that's because we did West Coast. Like they contributed to the creation of the West Coast sound. Like Ice Cube's first album coming out of NWA, they did it. That's like a sound, so it's not, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a sound where we wanted, when we did his album, the thing I'm doing then is like, she has so many talents, just harnessing it and making it not feel like, oh, you just got so much shit all over the place. But it's focused. Ice Cube album was the same way. We had to make it feel like we did his album in the West Coast, but we did it in Hempstead, Long Island. We made it feel like we was in LA at Encore recording. No. Everything's in New York City. So that's the thing. We made it about Ice Cube. We didn't make it about us, the producers. No, it's about Ice Cube.
And Bella DeVoe, that's such another different artist.
It's always about the artist. And then because having a DJ background, which started everything, we understood that. And then with Mandy, she has so many things that she can do, and I'm trying to capture that, but it has to be put in the right song. Just because she can do a lot of things, just don't get, because some people are just like, oh, let me just do all the things that you can do in one song. That's not it. We have some singing songs. We have a house record. We have, and
you do house?
Yeah.
Oh snap! I gotta do this. I want to.
See, everybody forget. Y'all forget. Like, hip hop didn't exist when I came in. It was all disco music and dance, and from the 70s. So and funk music. So we had a lot of that. So you had to play a lot of that. And then one time disco took over. You couldn't DJ in a park without playing a disco record.
In the studio with you must be
so
fun. It's fun. Yeah.
We it's cool because we both have such deep reference points musically, because I'm 49, Keith is 29, just kidding, 29 years making music, or more than that. So it's like we sit and we were listening to there's a song called, I think it's called Fire. We haven't figured out the title yet. But there's so many different songs we were listening to, like Hotel California. We were listening to harmonies on that, and because it's such an iconic song.
Hotel California from the Chili Peppers?
No.
Oh.
I was gonna say the
Eagles.
Oh, okay.
The Eagles. Yeah.
The Eagles. Yeah, Hotel California.
Well, I can do the Chili Peppers one too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then Alanis Morissette, Talking Heads. Talking Heads is an 80s, what do they call it? New wave.
New wave kind of stuff.
New wave. Alanis Morissette is 90s, alternative. Hotel California is
It's like the 70s, early 80s. They're going for like early 80s.
Yeah.
Like 70s, early 80s.
And then there was another song. Oh, Bruce Springsteen, like in the storytelling of that song, another 80s song. You would never think that when you listen to the song, but and then we have a whole like dance section. So there's a disco track that will be done. I don't know if it's going to be on our album or not. We might like do a little EP, but we've also been working on an acid house track. Perhaps like we both love drum and bass and jungle. Like I'm a house head. I spent my 20s in dance clubs. I grew up on house music. So it's like right up there with hip hop for me for sure.
Yeah, but our process is I try to take everything that she does, but she'll do something and she'll be just messing around. I'm like, yo, that's kind of high. He's like, no, I was kidding. No. They're like, okay, we can use that. That's me hearing things that we can use that she does that has to work within the song. If it doesn't work within the song, we don't do it.
Remember I tried to put a clarinet in something?
Oh, she was.
And I was like, let's put a clarinet. Like, I'm just trying to be weird, right? He's like, no, you can't mess with the funk. It's not funky.
Yeah,
I was like, I
can't put a clarinet in ain't funky. You can't put it in there. It's like, there's guidelines to making hit records. Whether people think that it's not, there are things that, because a hit record is you're involving the masses, and everybody in a particular place have a different taste. But you want to get a bunch of people in a space where they all agree to what you're doing. That's hard. It is harder than what most people think it is. Mm-hmm. That's why you hear a lot of artists, they go, especially now, there's so many artists, and okay, we're gonna hit record. I'm not gonna get into the art of the record labels pushing it, but they didn't get into that, but basically doing hit records, it's still trying to get a massive group of people on one accord from different backgrounds. It's hard because you got to get the street though liking it just as well as an intellectual doctor. Two different worlds.
Well, we can definitely we can get into this, even if we got chopped this into 2 episodes. I'm with all the shit. I don't know about you, babe. But
Absolutely.
Before we get more into this conversation, introduce Never Too Late first.
How?
Hey,
man. Drop.
Yeah, we're gonna play this one.
Drop.
Okay. Hey, it's Mandy Mayhem. This is my new song, Never Too Late, produced by the legendary Keith Shocklee.
Yo, we're gonna get this playing right now. This is welcome to the Rawrrzone on our website, www.rawrzonenyc.com, Booster 82.3 FM, and Elgin Sound Radio. Let's go.
Once again, it's the incredible from animal style hazardous osteoporosis, breaking your bone. Swallow your supplements, your joints are weak and yellow-bellied, homie. Homer Simpson, I'm tenderoni, always on your phone. Gray-haired lady screaming, welcome to the Terror Dome. Eddie Blanco from Toronto with that bongo junk, getting it done. I'm trying to be young still. I'm riding rhythm with that bed to dumb. You gotta walk like a champion, I ride Mandy Mayhem. Heavyweight, no shade, you broken in my confidence. I sit on it, got an equality complex. I'll match a logo, blow on any subject. Just getting started, cause I'm not dead yet. Never too late. Just getting started, cause I'm not dead yet. Never too late. Just getting started, cause I'm not dead yet. Never too late. Just getting started, cause I'm not dead yet. Never too late. I'm showing you how to make it, yeah. I'm on my Mary Tyler Moore shit. I am that witch, this microphone I want. Matriarch, don't make me swing my tongue. Ruminate, build my wisdom up. Was worth the wait, now I don't give a fuck. Accumulating self-esteem is cumulus, expanding like the universe. Aspiring dreams never dying, not trying to die. 40 years before my time, God willing it's far from over. And moreover, my time assuming there's way more time is also over. My proverbial block is broken, I smashed it open. But believe regressing, reinventing, raging against the stigma of gray. you're feeling this. These are my ages, living life in the days of my maze full of potholes. If you've been over there, reaching for life to begin, it never did. My inner critic was being belligerent. Most of my opposition, I telescope and focus, and my focus on the sticks and dope. Sending the bridges and home to house. I'm here, I'm built this. I'm elevating my brand, I'm letting go with the past. I can't escape from the famous all day, so stand back and nod your head for where my rest. It's never too late, never too late. I'm in overhaul. It's never too late, never too late. Looks are not facts. And it's never too late. This is your grandma's rap. And it's never too late, never too late. Reject your comments. Never too late.
Oh man, and we are back. That was Never Too Late from the beautiful, multi-talented Mandy Mayhem. Round of applause for her, everyone. She's a bomb. She was by the legendary Keith Shocklee. We here. You mentioned something before that there's a lot of things that are lost in the art of production. You started to actually touch up on that. I was wondering if you could like clarify a little more on that.
I think because in today's world, everybody can make a joint on their phone. I think sometimes the care in how you trying to get your art across gets lost. But then the other part is, people go online and they get their own little audience, and their audience starts to like what they do, and that's cool. The problem is when you go from online to in real life, it's a whole nother game, and that's where I think people get lost at, because online you can have followers all over the world. You can't get that. You got to come out here to clean something. They gotta know you for that to happen, and that's why I try to. Manny talks about this all the time. I try to keep a unity thing, because online and real life, they're two different planets. That's kind of the focus that you have to understand. How do you do a gig in New York when you're online and most of your audience is coming in, and most of your audience could be coming from out of Arizona, or you just got to do a lot of gigs in Arizona. That's the thing. But then, that's what happens. Just keeping that in mind, I think that's where on a whole comes in that. But if you want to stay online, that's cool. I'm like an in real life dude. I want to get down there. I want Manny to get down at the festival, and everybody going crazy. That's the thing, And nowadays, because we don't have a big label behind us pushing it, we got to do it ourselves. But we have connections that can happen. That's another game. But I just think just people understanding, using the tools of production, and having a real perspective of where your space is, online and not.
It's a different experience. Like I was actually, we were talking about it, about the song Shine, which is the disco track that we have. Like he made that track a while ago, and it still sounds new because it was created based on the fundamentals of disco. So disco has had several resurgences since it started in the 70s, right? Like there was a 90s resurgence, there was a 2000s resurgence. Like there's disco now. There was disco again, like in 2012. There was a whole disco. Like it comes and goes, and it never really leaves, right? Disco never actually died, but the way that Keith built that track is based on the fundamentals of disco. And when you understand, it's like me studying jazz. When you understand how something got to be where it is, you have a totally different ear for the music. So you can, it's like a fashion designer. It's like, Galliano creating something that is ready to wear. He has such an understanding of the history of fashion. He's part of shaping the history of fashion. And just because he creates a garment in like, you know, the Pantone color of the season happens to be a certain shade of chartreuse, that everyone recognizes that that's the cool color that everyone's using right now. But because the fundamentals are there, the structure of the garment is there, it has that modern take because it's the new color. It's like we're experimenting with new sounds in the studio. Keith is so into new technology. He's using new technology and playing with new sounds, but it's built on fundamentals. So when you hear artists that are learning and they're skipping steps, they haven't studied the music, it doesn't mean that they can't come up with something new and interesting, but it might not have the same longevity as something that's built on something with such deep structure.
Ray?
Yeah, Mandy, I had to ask you because even before today and listening to Never Too Late, I was telling Katie, I'm like, yo, you know, the one thing about Mandy is that she has the skill that she can go. And so my thing is like, and listening to the flow is like, who are some of the artists that you listen to that have the flows, and it's like, you know, who have you studied flow wise?
So, you know, I started at hip hop karaoke, right? Like, I started in the 80s practicing in the basement with my cousin rapping. Like, Big Daddy Kane was one of my first favorite rappers. And sometimes I don't talk about him because in my mind, it's like Jay-Z and Big Daddy Kane are kind of similar. They're not, but they are in my mind because Jay-Z was similar to Big Daddy Kane in terms of like his flow would switch a lot. It was almost like spoken word or like battle rap. Like I didn't feel like Big Daddy Kane was repeating, and my Gemini brain loved that. Like I get bored so fast.
See, I'm not the only fucking one.
Yeah, so I loved the way he changed his style, and I remember recognizing that as a kid. Like, oh, this is, you know, it's not like the typical like Run DMC, right? I'm doing a track with DMC, which is like really exciting. And it's so interesting, such an interesting piece of the rap puzzle, that style of rap that they did versus like Big Daddy Kane. So Big Daddy Kane, Queen Latifah was a huge influence. Ladies First is still one of my favorite rap songs because I like hearing the two different flows of Moni Love and Queen Latifah, and that's the same with Renegade. I like challenging myself with the two different flows and making each one of them my own. So in hip hop karaoke, I just did a new track every month for years. I would learn a new song, OPP, like, you know, Naughty by Nature, DOS Effects. I was learning all of these songs and challenging myself and then doing them on stage. So not just learning them, but pushing myself to learn how to perform them and make them my own and like embody someone else's song. So I think it's more than just listening to it that has influenced me. It's actually performing and competing. And one of the first song that I won the hip hop karaoke championships in Toronto 3 times. The first song I won with was "Shoot" by Salt and Pepper, which is like a party track, you know. And I like pulled out, I stuck a dildo in my pants and I pulled it out and I started waving it around. So I did like the two different female voices, and then when the S and the B want to get with me, I pulled the dildo out and I made it and turned it into a puppet and made it rap. But then I learned I didn't need all those tricks, like that I could just I did that. And then the second one was Slam, where I crowd surfed, and then the third one I think was Fight the Power. Oh, I'm probably never showing you that. I started a riot. People were losing their minds. They were throwing water bottles at the stage. The whole crowd was going bananas. It was just like madhouse. Yeah, I'll find that. I think it's on my YouTube channel. I'll find it. So it's interesting because, like, I think we were talking about this. I was putting a verse down on a friend of mine's track. two battle rappers, Phantom and Chief. And I was thinking about my style. It's like when I listen to other rappers, I can often hear their influences. And when I listened to rap as a kid, I would listen for samples. Like I loved trying to figure out where the samples came from. And also there's this language in hip hop where it's like you were saying about Biggie, like one rapper is referencing another rapper's song, or like and I do that in Never Too Late. I start with Chuck D's lyrics, which he said was okay. Which is amazing. And I loved as a kid investigating that and having to figure it out just based on other records I listened to. I didn't really read the rap magazines. There was no rap station in Toronto. I didn't have access. We didn't have a radio station. So I was like doing my research in the songs. So referencing other rappers, like there's a bunch of references in this song. This is like, I say you gotta walk like a champion to ride Mandy Mayhem. That's Buju Banton. I love dancehall. I'm a big dancehall fan. Part of what I grew up on too. I Bobby Brown. Always on your phone. I say, I'm Tenderoni. You're Homer Simpson. I'm Tenderoni. Always on your phone. Gray-haired lady screaming "Welcome to the Terror Dome" is another hip hop, another Pogami reference. But like Tenderoni is to the Tenderoni. You know, I love Bobby Brown. I wanted to marry him.
Aww.
Bobby Brown marriage. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So I really fucking just studied the craft. Like I loved it and I studied it. And now I think that my flow, I don't know because I'm not someone listening to it, but I think that I'm not sure if you can pick out my references, but they're there. Like Eminem, is an influence as well. The Ludacris, Drake. I think people that try to do something different is always interesting to me. Little Sims, love Little Sims. Doechii, I love what she's doing. I love how she's referencing, classic boom bap hip hop and like fucking with it. I mean, she's a real artist in my opinion. I really, really like what she's doing. Nicki. It's so many. So many.
So, Keith, sorry, my screen locked on me. Thank God this is pre-recorded. Public Enemy is known for its strong political message, right? How do you feel the role of hip hop and in activism has evolved since the group first started?
Wow. I guess activism is done in a different way. Because when we started, there wasn't that many rap groups. There wasn't that many rappers making records like we have now. That the activism style music is not the forefront like it was in the beginning. Because the reason why the activism was the forefront in the beginning, label warnings kicked in.
Yeah.
So you're not going to talk about guns and none of this and that, and sticker warnings came across. So more so the activism world became more abundant, but then the activism world became more to the point of like, this is what's going on in the hood that y'all don't see when we didn't have social media. So that was there. Whether NWA was an activist group done in a different direction, but they was just as much of an activist group as Public Enemy. And then you had the soloists like KRS, KRS-One, those guys. But we were speaking about things that was actually going on in the hood, whether it's good or bad, And then the playful boasting and boast rhyme came about. That's what, boasting about yourself was happening. That's kind of like the LL world. But it's always been that. But we decided to take a different angle because, we just got tired of
during the 80s, every black person was damn near considered a drug dealer because the drug trade was really high. There was no thing. So we would get stopped, especially in Long Island, if you had a nice car, because they know all the black people live at. So I can get into this really deep. They know all the black people live, but if they see you with a nice car, they would be like, where you get this car from? That's how racist some of the cops were. They didn't really care. So that became a thing. So we was on the side of like, yo, man, we're tired of getting treated like everybody or every young black American was a drug dealer, because there's a lot of them that was. That's how they got paid faster. We wasn't making no money in the music industry like we're doing now. But that was the thing. And there are a lot of activists, underground artists, but they don't get that light like the drill rappers get, and I won't even say boom bap rappers. They don't even get that anymore. But there are a lot of activist rappers that's running around. They just don't
like
get
Immortal Technique. Like Immortal Technique.
Yeah. There's tons of them. That's not cool anymore, because what that did was it started to unify people. And the worst thing you can have in hip hop is everybody being unified. That's why Puffy got the problems right now, because it ain't unified. They love that. That drama is perfect. But when you get us unifying, and we had the red, black, and green medallion back to Africa, that's powerful. That's the most powerful thing. But everybody being divisive and holding the next person down, they love that. They love that, because that works.
I'm glad you I don't want to go too much into the Diddy thing, right? But Diddy was such a big part of the culture, 90s, 2000s. Do you feel like everything that's going on right now is taking a big step back for hip hop?
No, we can't. They keeping your mind focused off of something.
Okay.
They're taking the focus off of something. Don't know what it is.
Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, well, that too. But I don't want to get into digging. I don't want to get too much into Diddy's situation. But Diddy don't have this situation because he challenged one of the most greatest alcohol companies ever, Diageo. Yep, they're powerful. They've been around since Prohibition. He went after them, won, and then if you notice, at the same time, 50 was trying to get his liquor into sports stadiums. They control that so hard. That's why he went down to DC. That's a whole other game. And that's part of the deals with the industry. So they throwing up all the other smoke screens, whatever. But but we don't want to get into that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's I agree. I just want to speak, from the female perspective on this. It's like what he did was heinous. Not that it was just women, but it was heinous. The shit going down was heinous. And it was covered up because it was in everyone's best financial interest for it to be covered up. But then when it stopped being what he was doing, stopped being in everyone's best financial interest, when he started to take care of his own financial interests, then all those things are used to take him down. I wish that it was just justice for the victims, and I'm happy that that's happening, but it just shows how powerful certain folks are in the world, that they can just like keep something under wraps for that long. And is it hurting hip hop? I mean, I guess I am in the hip hop community. I'm not in the black.
You're in it as much as we are.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know. I think like in any sort of art community, anything that keeps us accountable, I think we need to understand that we are not creating in a vacuum and making art in a vacuum, and that it affects people, and take that seriously. Speak your truth, but know why you're doing what you're doing. Know why you're making the music that you're making. Like have a question you're asking, or always be seeking to move the art form forward. And I think sometimes people just get to a point where they're checked out. And I think when you're checked out, you got to go. So he's got to go.
keeping everything positive is supposed to be. Mandy's, we keep things fun.
Yeah, but
We keep
speak
it
truth to
positive.
power.
We
That's
speak
happening
truth
in
to-
my music too.
Yeah, you speak truth to power. And when you speak truth to power to some people, that can be like, oh, wait a minute. You know,
Yeah.
We go through lyrics and what I know lyrics, some of the stuff Manny does with some lyrics stirs up people.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing that when it stirs up people, but depending upon how it stirs up people.
Well, I believe that once you create something that it no longer belongs to you, that when you put it out into the world, that it then is the world's experience of the thing, and your experience kind of doesn't matter anymore. So when I was going to say, when I first went viral and that whole stuff was going down, I realized at some point that it was a lot of the conversations were conversations that needed to happen. I'm old, I'm white, I'm a woman. These are 3 places where I'm going to piss people off, just in general, never mind hip hop. But those 3 places. So throw hip hop into the mix and you can pick a side from which you want to be pissed off at me. And so the conversations that are happening in my comments are ones that need to happen for people to heal. And it's not about me. It's about the healing that needs to happen. So even though I'm building bridges in positive ways, like bringing the message literally to that woman in Oklahoma, there's also conversations that are helping people heal and feel heard. And when I do my live streams, I make sure that people feel seen and heard. I've had people come into my live stream. One person who was commenting on me being a culture vulture and DM'd me about it. And I went and researched the person. And I don't always do this, but I researched them and found out they ran a small not-for-profit gallery in Philly, and were, very passionate about helping BIPOC artists. And I'm like, wow, this is so interesting. Like, this person is so interested in art and helping artists, and yet they see me as an oppressor. It's really interesting. So I just approached it and I said, hey, I see you and I hear you. And I want you to know that I'm here to talk and to listen. Not even to talk, to listen. If you want to have a conversation, I'm here. And I respect that you have feelings about this. So they said, wow, I'm shocked that you said that. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. And they didn't get back to me, but I'm still here. And I think that's the most important. It's the only thing I can do is just like hold space, because everyone has a right. Like I said this to my moderators in my TikTok live streams, that like when someone comes in and they start screaming about appropriation or culture vulture stuff, I don't want you to mute them. I want you to let them stay. Let them talk. Because when you grow up and you're having rocks thrown at you your whole life and someone lobs a tennis ball, you're going to think it's a rock. So immediately your response is going to be, that's what's going on. But it's not. So you have to give them time to be like, oh shit, that's a tennis ball. But if you kick them out right away and just tell them they're wrong, we're never going to solve any of this. No one's going to heal. So
that's what happens when you get popular.
Yeah.
The bigger you get, the more crazy people come after you. But that's only a small fraction of it. Mm-hmm. It's what you do for the bigger people that rocks with you.
Yeah.
Because you always want to get those little bit of people that's very small. It's not like, and then when people come at you, 1, 2, they know that you're doing something that's kind of hot. And that's why, because if they didn't like it, they won't comment. They will just keep going. And both ways, So it's a good thing. Me and Manny, we talk about these things. And I say, yo, the more we go at it, the more we build this, because it's me and her, and we had two different levels, but we are at a level of like, why is he with her? Why is she with him? Then the other stupid shit comes about. Oh, I ain't gonna even say that part.
Yeah,
I can't say the stupid part, but
yeah.
It's our preference as what we do, and nobody can stop us from what we do.
To piggyback off of what Katie just asked, and not to dig too deep into the subject because it's way beyond us, music industry wise, and you know it ties to Puffy. And I'm gonna recite these lyrics because it all falls within that community. And I'll break it down. It's a secret society. All we ask is trust. And within a week, watch your arm freeze up. Brazier get ripe. A to a D cup. Weave get tight. Pedicure your feet up. Ears get iced. Gear get spiced. From hood rat to superstar, there's your life. He could take you out of your hell. Say bye to Reebok. Say hi to Chanel. Say hi to Gucci, Prada as well. Take a look in the mirror. Be proud of yourself. Do you think that these hidden messages within hip hop, now that everything that's coming to light, does it also push us even further back in hip hop, or is everything meant to come to light to take down those who are the gatekeepers?
Ooh. I think what's interesting is what Keith said earlier about we were talking about in the early days of hip hop, they were talking about things they didn't have. So, you know, a poor person in China, that resonates because they want to have the fancy cars and the, you know, pedicures and what have you. And the problem with it is when you build your house on, what is the line from the Bible? Like building your house on sand, when the foundation is not solid, when it's not rock, when you're building, you know, that you're speaking into existence something that you want to have. And what has been spoken into existence in that particular lane has a lot to do with money. It's the only thing, right? And it is certainly power, but I just feel like because it was so out of balance, from a popularity perspective, like there was always, you know, Tribe and De La Soul and that other sort of lane of music being made. Not sort of, but that other lane of music and conscious hip hop being made, that it was out of balance because of what Keith said also earlier. The people that held power in the music industry were making more money off of a certain style of music. So if anything, the hip hop industry has been out of balance, is the point I'm trying to make. It's been out of balance and hyper fixated on certain storylines. And so is film and TV been hyper fixated on certain storylines. And it's because entertainment has been controlled by very tight groups of people, 5 people at the top of the music industry, all of them a certain demographic, 5 people essentially at the top of the film and TV industry, all of them a certain demographic. Now we don't have that anymore. Now there's still tug of war going on in terms of who gets the message out, but it's democratized. That's the reason I'm sitting here right now, is because I've found an audience without anyone having to give me permission. So I think hip hop is, everyone is in the middle of a reckoning, not just hip hop, film and TV, the medical industry, sports. Everyone is reckoning with the patriarchy, with the white racist patriarchy. Thank God. And I think, you know, we're going to have to clean up the shit in order to rebuild the foundation, because it was built on sand. We need to rebuild it on brick. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Amen.
So, how would you tell other young women, like even people like me, people my age that are trying to break into the hip hop industry? Because I've gotten a lot of backlash being in this industry. How do you know, you already told us about how you built your tough skin, but how is it, you know, this industry is pretty much like a giant popularity contest.
So when I stopped dyeing my hair, it was in 2018. I used to dye my hair red, and I did it for 14 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I started when I was like 30. So I thought that's just what you did when you get gray hair. You just dye it. That's right. Why would you what? Of course you just dye your hair. And then at one point I realized I didn't have to do it anymore. And when I started to let it grow out, I realized that I had based my sense of identity on how the world saw me. And it's hard. You walk out every day, and I had this glorious mane of fiery red hair that was from a box, but it was quite bright. And people would comment on it all the time and say, wow, your hair, I love your hair. I love what you're wearing. I love your shoes. You know, it's like a way that people communicate in our culture, North American culture. And it makes you constantly think about how the world sees you. Like, I don't know if men have this experience, but females quite often, it's the way people greet you is to comment on what you're wearing or how your hair looks or whatever. And it takes you outside of yourself. When I stopped dyeing my hair, I started to think about what it would feel like to walk into a room and just look around the room and decide what I like about the room, who I want to talk to, how I feel, instead of being like, am I safe? Is that guy going to come on to me? Is that girl going to give me a dirty look? Is this guy going to like my hair? How am I being judged? And it starts when we're young with being judged by our friends. Girls are so mean to each other and have so much to say. So we're conditioned to always be self-surveilling. Like you have a camera on yourself all the time being like, oh, you did that wrong. Oh, stand up straight. Oh, tuck your shirt in. Like all this shit constantly going on. So my practice when I stopped dyeing my hair was to come back into my shoes and my eyeballs, I called it. So to ground my feet, feel my feet in my shoes and look out at the room, I see this beautiful picture. I love it so much. And to be in my own body instead of thinking about V looking at me and what's he thinking. Yeah. That is the key to surviving life, and especially surviving life as an artist. You can't create from here. It's never going to be. You're never going to discover anything if you're constantly watching yourself. The only way you can discover something, and that's what makes art interesting. As you know, as a photographer, it's all about discovering the moment, holding the frame and letting the moment find you and pressing the button at the right time. Yeah. Right? You can't do that when you're watching yourself take the picture, worried about like, oh, are my pants coming down? Like, am I, you're got to be looking through the lens. And when the onslaught comes at you, the negative criticism, it's trying to pull you back out here again. So the longer you can stay inside, that's the discipline, is to just keep bringing yourself back.
I like that. Because if you watching, you better listen to this advice, man, because you don't know when you're going to get this again. I'm just saying, Mr. Raymond.
Yes. So Mandy, at the start of the show, we mentioned something, and I came across it earlier, and like I said, it's been like 2 weeks of just like me being completely like at a loss for words as far as
fascinated.
So I have to ask, how did your show Mandy Mayhem's Rapping with Actors come about?
Okay, so interesting. You mean like the concept for the show, or how did I get it made? Like, how did I get it produced?
All of the above, because I noticed on Prime that there's only one season.
Yeah. I know, right? So I have another show called Mother, which is a short form comedy series that I wrote and starred in about a housewife who fantasizes about being a rapper. And it was on True TV, part of this other show called Rachel Dratch's Late Night Snack, which is an anthology series. It's like SNL, but with all this stuff is pre-taped. It's not like live sketch comedy. There was like Alec Baldwin had a series in there, Sarah Silverman, all kinds of things. The Impractical Jokers started from that show. So that was really amazing. And we had a bit of a budget, but I didn't get paid that much. But this was my shot. Like, I really thought this was going to start my acting career, my writing career, what have you. So what I did was I gathered together a bunch of interns in Toronto to help me. And I was like, we shot the show in the US, so I can't help you in terms of like credits or anything on that show, but I can teach you about production and I can teach you about social media. And like, I'm really good at helping a person develop their skill set through the work they do with me by tailoring their job to what they want to learn and then launching their career for them. So I had 5 different young women that came and worked with me on Mother. And in the process, I wanted to give them a project that they could get credit for. So I had this concept for a variety kind of sketch interview show called Rapping with Actors, and where I interview actors and we talk about acting, but we also talk about hip hop. So we talk about their top 5 rappers, we talk about their top 5 actors, how music might play a role in acting for them, because a lot of actors want to be musicians and a lot of musicians want to be actors. It's a very common thing. Right. So I was trying to find a thread between the things that I love, and I like to create these containers creatively that are big enough to hold all the stuff I love. I love writing, I love acting, I love comedy, I love music, I love, hip hop, I love poetry. So how can I create something that can hold all of these things? So we were working out of the Toronto Public Library, and they had a green screen room in there and all this equipment that you could rent or borrow within the library, video cameras and tripods and lights and whatever. And then they also had an editing bay with like big Mac iMacs. So I gave everyone jobs, and like there was one woman that wanted to, learn how to edit, and one that wanted to learn how to put a deck together. And so I gave them all jobs, and we did this teaser for Rapping with Actors. And then we had a local TV station, Bell 5, which was like a publicly funded TV thing. And we sent it into them. Like, we just submitted. I had them do all the work so they could learn. And then they sent it in and they picked it up. And so we had a budget of like $700 per episode, which paid for the hard drives. And like, I paid for hair and makeup and some catering. Like, we had no budget. There were 6 episodes. And, but we had access to everything that the public television station had access to, which was Much Music, which was Canada's version of MTV. We had that whole building. We had their sets, we had their cameras, we had their camera people, everyone that was in the building that was on salary, we got to use. So the production value is pretty good, considering the budget that we had. So it was really like a beautiful gift that I was trying to give to these people who were giving to me. And it resulted in like me selling my second show, essentially. And then I've wanted to continue with it, but I need a budget. So I haven't had someone else pick it up. At this point, I could probably get a brand to do it. And I have a whole slate of TV shows and film ideas and things I want to do and integrate live streaming with. And so like the next stage for me, once we get this album rolling and start doing some shows, is to get back into my film and TV production and start to really like, develop the other projects that I have, and maybe a second season of Rapping with Actors, hopefully.
It's an amazing concept. Like, if you don't immediately land your feet on doing a second season with that, would you transition that or something of that ilk into a podcast?
So I did a podcast when my hair was growing out. It was called Going Gray in Tinseltown. And it was, I guess, 2018. So it wasn't like at the beginning of the podcast days, but it was still like before everyone had one, So it's a lot of work, as you know. And I feel like with everything else, I don't know that I want to do it. It's not completely off the table. Like, lots of people have kind of approached me about different podcasts, but I think that it's a very visual show. I'm way more interested in live streaming improvised content. using TikTok live stream, YouTube live stream than I am about cutting and editing a podcast. So I know that's kind of vague, but I mean,
it's not bad. Like sometimes, like yesterday, for an example, like me and Ray did a whole pretty much listening party as an episode, because if we just did it straight live, it kind of just saves us from going through the hassle of overthinking the editing process.
Yeah. Doing it live it's a different experience for the audience for sure. Like when I went down to Austin and I did Danny Brown's podcast and Christina P in the Your Mom's House studios, and they had a really interesting setup. They had like very tight production. It was like a 20-minute. They had a clock, a timer going, a huge timer, and they had segments set up, and it was like in and out. Like I flew to Houston or to Austin to do 20 minutes. It was like in and out. With Christina, we went a little longer because I started talking about drinking piss, and then she was like, "Okay, I need to hear this story."
So we do have one of your other songs queued up. I want you to tell me a little bit about the Through It song, and then we'll play the video. Because we still got to do a photo shoot for you and Mr. Keith.
Yes.
So we want to make sure we tackle that too.
Okay.
But tell us about the song.
So
Maddie, by the way,
a friend of mine had posted herself on this. What is it's like? It's not. I don't think it's a zither. It might be a zither.
Oh, what?
It's as a musical instrument where you blow into it and you press buttons and play, and it's like a little keyboard. It's like an electric it's a kid's toy. And she was playing this song called I'm Through with Love that Marilyn Monroe sang in a movie. It might be Some Like It Hot. I can't remember what the movie is. And it was so beautiful. And I loved how weird this toy instrument sounded. And I was like, please send me the stems. I want to write a song to that. So I wrote this poem. It's a spoken word piece. I wrote it to that sound she made. And then like I tried to work with a producer to make it, and it didn't come out right. And then I think I ended up finding this beat that's on here on BeatStars. And I can't remember off the top of my head who the producer is, but I filmed the poem. I recorded myself doing it, I filmed the poem, and then I shot it in my bed. So the piece you're going to see is homemade. I've never released this song. It's just on social media.
All right. So let's do a quick drop for it. Then we're going to get to our closing questions and remarks. Okay.
What's up? It's Mandy Mayhem. You're about to hear I'm Through with Love.
Let's get it on. Welcome to the Rawrrzone on our website, www.rawrzonenyc.com. Elgin Sound Radio and Boost 82.3 FM. This is Through with Love from Miss Mandy Mayhem.
Retiring the vagina. Hang my jersey on the wall. I've seen it all. Bounced a lot of balls. A statistically significant volume, and still my pussy is a treasured heirloom. It's appraisal and subsequent valuation performed by me. Considering an NFT, at least then I'd be compensated for all the residual damages done by witless dicks so consumed by consumption they fail to realize the tricks of kids. Stop playing. Dating men my age has me playing dick detective. Should have all the badges by now, but I don't. All I have are fault lines on my labia where impatient dicks tried to undam my divine entrance. Didn't know they had to wait till it was wet. Time to build an electric fence, cause what's on the other side is no longer relevant to you. Besides, the jolt is so intense now that I've exhumed my divine feminine. You don't deserve that experience, though I'd like to watch you fry for my own amusement. Labial electrocution is one of the many tools in my fuse box. but I'm trying to conserve energy, so back the fuck up. I'm too alone, I'll never fall again. Let her do it alone, don't ever call again. So I'm through with love. I'm through with love, I'll never fall again. Said it you to love, don't ever call again. And so I'm through with love. I thought this song was gonna be a joke.
Oh, it does too.
Constant.
Oh man, and we are back. We're talking about how content is the bane of all of our existence. You know, Ray's kind of enjoying doing it now. But we here. Welcome to the Rawrrzone. We reaching that end of the night, and I do have like 2 questions left for Mr. Keith. I don't know if you have any more for both of our guests.
Yeah, just you know, how has it been like, you know, working with each other, like from creating to studio sessions? Like what do you two learn from each other as creators?
Manny has a thing of where she likes everything super perfect, which is great. I like artists like that. That's why you have producers that come by and say like, this, we have enough. She'll keep giving me more and more and more, but I'll be like, we have enough. And I like to work with, the more I got, the better it is, you know, because we go back and pick and choose, and we just figured out how, you know, we just vibe, and our whole studio session is a vibe. Then we figure it out, then we attack what we need to do. But it's about a vibe. But she's very hard on herself. I think that's the biggest thing I deal with her about. She's very hard and on herself and how things need to be, which is always the best attitude for every artist. Mm-hmm. That's why producers are there to be like, to dial back and, okay, we got things.
Raymond, who did that remind you of?
Myself.
I've been working with him since 2 years before the pandemic, when you had that issue where they played you with the Chris Rivers shit.
Yeah.
So 2 years before the pandemic. So we're talking about 2018. And I swear to God, it's been a consistent battle. But at least I know it's not just a him thing. It's an overall artist thing.
Well, sometimes when you first start working together, you don't know what is possible. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it for me, like I've recorded other songs. I have 2 other albums, one that didn't really get released, and then another one that was there for the TV show. You know, and people don't expect me to have so much to offer. And so they just kind of stop me, you know, oh, that's cool, whatever, you know, cool. So Keith took a lot of time to hold space to figure out what it was that I was capable of doing. I think what I learned from him is so much about the history of hip hop, the culture, about what it was like for him growing up in the times before I was born. You know, stuff that you don't like, just I get it so much more now, and I thought I got it before, and I get it so much more now. But on a personal level, just working with someone who, I'm just going to be blunt, like didn't try to assault me, was a huge relief and helped me open up as an artist. I've been since I was 20, been trying to make music. And I convinced myself in my 20s that the only reason that producers were trying to work with me was because they wanted to have sex, and not because I had anything to offer as an artist, because it always came to that. They would always try to have sex with me. And so I thought I didn't have any talent and stopped trying, essentially. And then when Keith believed in me, my first thought was, oh, is he trying to have sex with me? Because there were other producers that reached out that are Grammy winning producers, like have worked with Beyonce level producers, that I said, if this is why you're contacting me, please, this isn't going to happen. And then they still tried anyway. So I didn't trust anyone. And like, from the time we started working together, like we ended up basically living, like we're in a domestic non-sexual partnership at this point. Like we've been working together for a year, and like, you know, I lived in the studio. Like I know what his chewing sounds like. Like we've spent so much time together, but the relaxation that I have found has been has opened my voice up. I'm singing and hitting notes and doing things with my voice that I didn't even know I was capable of, because I feel safe with this human being that respects me as an artist and sees me as an artist first and a woman second. And that I've just never experienced that in music, except on my second album, and my producer, Ryan Carroll, DJ Dyslexia, incredible artist who is also a gay man. So I didn't feel threatened. Just straight up facts.
He's not gay, guys.
No, I didn't mean that.
So the lesson today is Keith Shocklee is not gay. No disrespect to gay men out there, but sorry, man.
Yeah.
Didn't mean it like that. But that, I mean, I cannot understate how important that has been for me. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for listening to me. Because we go through our emotions.
Oh yeah, I cry like a lot.
Yeah, I think one of the things that working with Mandy and me working with artists, I can bring out the craziness in our artists, which is good. I use it for putting your soul on your record, because that's what this is about.
Yeah,
it's about putting your soul on these records and what you believe in. And trust me, when I was doing third base, Search and P Nice, I just had them going at it because I wanted them to bring out the best in them when I did their song, Step Into the AM. And that's what that did. Because it's art, man. You got to bring your best out. It's
uncomfortable.
I figure out how to push those buttons to bring that artist. I've been with artists that when I push those buttons, they be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I said, well, this is what does it take to be who you want to be. And then they realize they don't want to do this. So I'm like, okay, you go on about to say. But staying in there, dealing with my craziness and how I want things and how things need to be, because if I'm hard on you, you can get through this. You can deal with the people out in public. Because they're treacherous. They're treacherous.
You're not hard on me though. You're not.
I'm not?
No.
Ray, am I hard on you?
No, I don't think so, because we understand each other. So it's like a partnership.
Well, you know that being hard on me won't help. It won't help. What helps is you being like, you're being too hard on yourself. That's what helps me.
Yeah, okay.
When you're like,
oh, she's really too hard on herself.
Yeah. You're like, but you know, the thing ultimately is like, we both know when that was the take. We're both like, oh, that was the take. We both know that. That's the ultimate thing that you have to have with your collaborator. You can have some differences of opinion, but generally we're both like, oh, that's it. Yeah.
You build the foundation.
Yeah.
The foundation is always like the most important part, I feel like, of the relationship. Because I've worked with many artists. Like I because I went through also getting my master's in PR, I wanted like everyone to be my test dummy. So if it's stuck, it's stuck. He gets blasted all this time. Yeah. But
congrats, that's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Gemini, so you know for a fact that we don't got patience.
No.
Are you May Gemini or June Gemini?
June.
Yes.
The psycho ones.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
June what?
20.
Oh God, you have my ex's birthday, but it's okay. I'll deal with that.
You dated, and I dated another Gemini too.
I was the worst mistake I ever made of my life. I was engaged to him for like 2 years. It was horrible. That's neither here or there.
There's just too many people in the room.
Yeah, my nephew is here. I can't start explaining all that right now. But I do have a question for Keith. There's 2 parts. You worked obviously with Mandy. You worked with some of the most influential names in hip hop. What are moments or collaboration in your long career stood out to you the most? She won't be insulted if you don't say her.
It won't be me.
No, I mean,
it's okay.
Collaborate. Oh man, that's. I think Ice Cube was the one that stood out. As far as crazy talent, young LL, one take. And I never worked with a one take person in my life.
Wait, but let me ask you a question. Did the Force live up to LL and his legacy?
Did the Force?
Yes, his
Have you listened to it?
No, the new one?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the new one yet. The one they ain't nobody gave it to me. So put that out there and I'm gonna call them. Y'all didn't give me
It's on Spotify.
I'll tell Esther to tell I got you.
I ain't listened to it yet.
Oh, it's cool. Where's my vinyl?
Yeah, I need my vinyl. But I think Ice Cube was one of the because when he all this stuff that he went through with Easy and everybody, and then he decided to break off, and he was coming over to the East Coast to do his album. Ain't nobody thought that shit was gonna turn out like it did. It's like Jinx was in there. So and our goal was what we do as producers. We ain't the producers that like Mustard on the beat, yo. We ain't that producers, even though Mustard is dope. But we always wanted to make it about the artist. We never made it about us. Never. So Ice Cube album was about we need to sound so West Coast and doing it in the East Coast. It's like making a movie. So that's why I think that's why it was there. It was about a movie. He had ideas. He had 8 composition books of rhymes, and it's like with Mandy. See, that's why I trip out with Mandy, because she just had rhymes and words all over the place. Trust me, some of the songs we just took from this thing she wrote there, that thing she wrote over there, and I'm like, it lines up. So let's put it together. And that's why it's kind of dope.
And that's what I like what you said, because I was listening to Nas, to Book of Rhymes, and then when you look back as to how disorganized he was with his thoughts, but yet he's such a genius, like that's why I feel like some of your hustle comes from, like the Queen's artist, and every time I hear you, I think of LL, I think of Nas, and then he's saying your writing process. I'm like, okay, this really makes a lot of sense right now.
I'm very free. So when I was in grade 1, first grade, you call it in the United States, grade 1, I had a teacher who would make us do an hour of creative writing every day, which is insane for like 7-year-old children. But she was like, I don't want you to worry about punctuation or spelling or your handwriting or anything. Just write. It was like a free creative writing exercise in like a fundamental time in my brain growth. So the way I approach a creative process, the way I shop, I go shopping like this. I go into a store, I pick everything I want in the whole store. I go into the change room with like 600 things. They think I'm a lunatic, but I give myself complete freedom. Even if my budget's $100, I pick up everything. I go into the change room and then I try it all on, and then I worry about how much it's going to cost. So my writing process is just blah. Like just write. We have a song called Delulu that Chuck D is featured on. I wrote 6 or 7 pages of typed lyrics. So many lyrics. It's about AI, social media, like where we are with tech and the arts. And I have so many thoughts about it. I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. I was like, how am I going to bring this down? I just kept like cutting and cutting and cutting. The song's not done yet. I might even cut more. But I think that you have to give yourself freedom to make a mess, and then the editing process is where you find the gems. If you try to start with perfection, and there's like, that's a skill set too, to be like, like, okay, Lose Yourself is a song I do over and over again. The majority of that song is rhymed on the letter O. Like the whole fucking verse is the letter O. It's nuts. So that's a master being like, okay, now I know how to write. Now I'm going to like put restrictions on myself to see how hard I can make this and what kind of jewels can come out. I love that too. I love, pushing, but ultimately I have to feel free, or if I feel restricted, the magic won't happen.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. That's how we work. Wow. Because I don't know what she's going to write or come up with. What I am bad at words and remembering words of it, but I'm great at what it should sound like.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to sound like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's and she's kind of remind me of Chuck. They kind of have the same brain and the same vibe and style. That's why most of her songs that we did is kind of edgy and loud. Because she's the only female I know that can take a edgy, loud record and make it feel cool. Having that there, and when she goes in her zone, I don't know what the hell she says sometimes. I just know it fits. It works. We rock with it.
That's how I feel about you sometimes when you talk, Ray. I'm sorry.
Sounds good. I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, all the
It
time.
sounds good.
But my last question for Keith, and then if Ray has any more questions, right? Because I also don't want you to be here like thinking you here. We have no questions here. I have questions.
Good questions.
So Public Enemy's music can continue to resonate with so many generations. I have students because I work my 9 to 5. I work with inner city youth in the Bronx, and they're listening to Wu-Tang, Public Enemy, and they're thinking this shit is so current. I'm like, I was sneaking this stuff years ago, so my mom didn't catch me. What do you mean this shit is new? It's resonating with the new generations. What do you think makes the message so timeless, and how do you stay relevant in our constantly shifting music industry?
Those songs that we made are the same things that are happening today. Fight the Power, which was a whole different song that wasn't supposed to. It's a whole Spike Lee story. I ain't gonna get into that. But when we came up with Fight the Power, that song was done. The title was done by the Isley Brothers in '74. They were still talking about the same thing, Fight the Power. We just took the same thing, we kept the words, Fight the Power, changed the whole melody, applied it to do the right thing, where the cops, when they killed the kid and all that, a theme song that's going to resonate with people. So you're talking about a song that was done in '74. We brought it back out, the same kind of concept, in '89. So what almost a 20-year difference, almost 30-year difference. So our subjects and our topics are still going on to this day. Still going on. We did a song called She Watches Channel Zero. That was about people watching soap operas. Women watching soap and get caught up into the All My Children and the General Hospital. You flip that to Housewives of Hollywood. Same concept.
I mean, the soap operas are still living, man. Sonny Coranzo's still doing his thing, man.
Yeah, they're still doing their thing. But it's just, we talked about subjects that's so relevant. It's still going on today. So and I think when some of the kids hear that stuff and they really listen to the lyrics, they're still welcome to the Terror Dome. It's this same thing. We talked about the issues we had going on with the rabbis and the Jewish community and stuff like it's still happening now.
Did I tell you I wanted Welcome to the Terradome to be my wedding song? Like as I walk down the aisle. Come on down.
Come on down, yeah.
Welcome to the Terradome.
I can't judge. My boyfriend wants me to walk down to the slowed version of the Pokemon theme song.
Amazing.
So, having those songs and still stay relevant, it's like what life is about social issues. If nobody changes them, what we speak about still stays relevant. It's the musical technique of it. We just kept it noisy and aggressive, loud. Kids like loud music. We like loud music back then. Just stay fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond.
Final question, and I'm gonna piggyback of what I'm gonna piggyback off of what Katie just asked, and I'm gonna use the coin analogy. As far as like the youth that she's with that think that Wu-Tang is that they're current. So the flip side to that coin is hip hop is the only genre that tends to put an expiration date on not only the artist but the music that's released. How do you both feel about ageism in the music industry, mainly hip hop?
We hip hop we put a time limit on it because I want to say stupid people, but people put a time limit because they feel that it's the music of the youth, because it was built by of people that was young. We was young when it started. Problem is we grew older and it still resonates to us. So having that perspective, I've read this thing that says like, hey, if you're past 30 years old, you shouldn't be making music in hip hop. Why not? Because we're always trying to keep hip hop in a zone where it's always for the young. Yes, it's always for the young. That's why you got NLE Chopper. That's the young. But when that audience get older, that his music, I want to fuck myself too. You know what I'm saying? It's like that becomes, when he gets 50, his crew is going to be like, yo, this is our shit. And this is what happens with hip hop, because they're always thinking about it's for the young, but we grow older. We still like this. Well, my generation is totally different because we built this. We still like hip hop, and we still like some of the young ones, and then we still like our older stuff. Now it keeps growing. It's no different than blues. Like it's because it's around long, so it should never get old. But what I do want to say is we need to have more categories in style. Like, all right, when you get older, hey, it's classic hip hop or whatever thing you want to put in it. And then here's another thing. I argue with my barbers and them.
The barbershop
talk. They came around. They were between that and another little kid online. I went after him. They feel we can't make records at a certain age. When we've done all these hit records and everybody's still going out on tour like LL and Chuck and everybody, we can still make records. It's just people forget it's still about a catalog. So we make new music. You might not like it, but it adds to our catalog. And so what happens is our catalog grows and expands. And then at one point where if somebody don't like it, that catalog adds to that new record comes part of your catalog, and your catalog grows bigger. Mm-hmm. So when you sell all that, you get more money. Mm-hmm. See, always keep making music. Never stop, no matter how old you are, because nobody stops the Rolling Stones from making records. Right. The biggest, craziest part, Billy Joel retired a year ago, 2 years ago, right? That lasted less than a year. Went back, made another record, say, I ain't sitting home no more. Did another single, went right back out on the road.
Didn't Tony Bennett still make music 4 months ago?
Yeah.
We gotta keep, but in hip hop, we put restrictions on because they think it's a young person's game.
Well, there's a reason why it's a young person's game, and that's because young people are more malleable. They're easier to control. I walk into a meeting with somebody like at a record label, and they're telling, like, you can't tell me how the world works. You can't explain to me, like, you know, oh, we're gonna. I had a meeting with a very like prominent person in the music industry who said, I want to be your business partner, and I see the vision, and I'm gonna mold you. And I was like, no.
I mold me. You
Are
don't
you-
mold me. I mold me.
I'm not 20. I'm not going to be molded. I know what I want as an artist, and that might be challenging for someone in the music industry to want to work with, you know, who's used to developing talent. There are things I need to learn. Of course, I'm constantly developing. I'm really coachable. I love working with someone who is on my level, above my level, that I respect. I can learn something from everybody, but I'm not gonna make someone an authority that doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in the music industry that don't deserve to be the authority. They just happen to stumble upon talent and tell them that they're molding them, manipulate them into believing that it's because of them that they are who they are, and just take credit for other people's shit. You can't do that to someone who's 48, 49. I'm almost 50. You can't do that. Two, we're not making music for 18-year-olds. I'm making music for Gen X. It just so happens that millennials, Gen Z, boomers also love my shit. But I'm talking to the Gen X woman. That's who I'm making music for. Period. So I know what they like because I'm one of them. When I was an actor, I started, like I said, at 35. And I just kept telling myself, if I exist, then there's a role for me somewhere. There's a role in some movie because I know I exist. I'm on this planet. Therefore, I am a story and a character in something. So if I have something to say in a song or in my music, there's somebody out there that's going to resonate with it, because in the specific is the universal. So the more specific I get about my story, the more it resonates with people. It's when I try to like do fluffy shit or be relevant or say words that aren't specific to me that it doesn't work. So that's what has happened in the past with artists who are older trying to be relevant. God bless Katy Perry, but like whatever she just didn't work, because it was trying to hang on. It was trying to like hit all the right buttons, hit all the right notes of what you need to do to stay relevant. It wasn't like who she is now. It didn't feel like that. And I there's this whole thing going on with the whole world, but in music in particular, about authenticity. Authenticity is what everybody's looking for. So you see these artists, I'm almost done. See these artists like J-Lo and Justin Timberlake who are having trouble selling tickets because they're from a place where you had to be something else. You had to be an image of your image, and that's what when the camera's rolling, that's who you are, and behind the scenes you're somebody else. And they didn't want to necessarily share that other part of themselves with the world. Now what's being demanded of you is a level of authenticity that is uncomfortable. Like to get famous or to be popular, the world is asking for you to see all of you. I don't necessarily agree that you have to do it, but I think if you're not aligned with your truth, that our bullshit meters as audience members are so finely tuned at this point, because we've seen so much more content than any human being should ever see. We're not built for this, but now we've developed these superpowers of that person's lying. This is staged. That's fake. Blah, blah, blah. All day long, we're doing that. So when somebody comes out and they're like, I'm J-Lo, except I know you're lying because I can hear it in your voice, or what, not saying that she was lying or whatever, but like an image, a persona, it doesn't resonate. So I think that that's what happens, is that as you get older, you start to think you have to do things a certain way, and it's misguided. Like what M did on this album, so good. And it's so interesting because there's songs on there that are old songs that weren't released. Like I was like, why are there all these Christopher Reeve references? This is like, doesn't make any sense. But it's because he wrote those back in the day, which is like still, there's lyrics that I have like that I wrote a long time ago, like on Beaver Trap. The first verse I wrote in something. I don't know, like 10 years ago, a long time ago. When A Milli was out, I wrote it. And the second verse I wrote now, but they still live together. It's like watching my lyrical abilities evolve from the beginning to the end of the song, which I think is really interesting too for me, you know, geeking out on it. But you know, I think you need to know who you're making music for. And this is the thing that Keith kept saying in the studio. I hope this isn't what you're going to say, but he kept saying, don't listen to anyone else. We are making music for us. All that matters is that we like it at the end of the day. And that's to what I said earlier about writing. I got to just do it and make a mess and then find it in there and then worry about what the rest of the world thinks. Let me just be myself first and have the experience of creating art, because I am the universe experiencing itself. I am divine. I am creation. I am creating. And that's what I want, is to experience my life and experience creating. And when I'm trying to do what I think everyone else wants, I'm not in it. I'm not in flow. I'm not in my power.
That's what happens when you brought up the point, when Mandy brought up the point where, like, you brought up the J-Lo point. All her stuff was made for her. So all she had to do was fit the mold. This is why I don't work with artists that don't write. Because I come from the world of hip hop where you had to write. That way you are putting yourself in, not writing because this is what the topic everybody's doing. No, write what you feel. This is why all the artists, this is why the Rolling Stones stays around so long. They wrote what they feel, and they didn't change nothing for anybody. So those things happen. And what happens when you get older and stuff has been written for you, unless you have masterpieces written for you, or you're a vocalist like a Patti LaBelle that can take anything and make it sound beautiful, that's different. But when you don't know where you're going or where you're writing and how your writing's going to be, now you're going to try to do a record to try to keep up with everybody. And no, this is what everybody else is doing. I want to do that. Nah, just do you and who you are. And this is what most producers probably don't even understand with the artists that they are working with.
Interesting. I love all the insight. And for someone like me, like I've always said, especially with this show, I think the last 7 years doing this has been my little, selfishly, this has been my way to learn more about hip hop, because growing up, like me and my nephew's father, we had same culture. We're both Greek. We had two different upbringings. His mom let him listen to the hip hop, but he also listened to everything else. Me, however, when I was growing up, I couldn't listen to hip hop. Michael Jackson was like forbidden if my grandmother was living at the house with us.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah, because they're so used to being a Greek community,
right?
That it was foreign to them. My mom loved Paula Abdul, but when grandma came, we only were allowed to have Greek music in the house. You know, I remember sneaking one time, and this is Smooth. The video was for Smooth Criminal. And I was here singing along like a little yippy 6-7-year-old. My grandmother yelled at me. So a long time I had to hide like my taste in music. When I went to high school, it kind of was. It was a wrap on that. I started watching wrestling again. No one was hiding me from saying nothing, because I was old enough where I had an attitude where you couldn't stop me. But progressing as an adult is starting to work in here, and there, you know, I didn't get to listen to hip hop the way everyone did. And I'm sitting here with you now, learning stuff that I didn't know. You know, so I feel like the show and learning from you guys is just like a awesome journey, and it doesn't make any fan less of a fan. You know, you could be like Mandy has shown us, you could be in your 50s rapping like you 25, even though she's 25, like she's low-key 25. Just don't let the hair fool you.
I'm actually 15. That's perpetually 15.
I mean, let's not do 15, because what you did on that video didn't look 15. 18. That sounds 18.
She's of age. She's
Sorry.
of age, everybody.
She's of age.
Don't call Olivia Benson now. But Ray, any last thoughts before we start closing out?
Just real quick, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Even though I'm not there physically, I'm there in spirit. Again, you're super freaking dope, and like I'm listening to you talking. It's almost like it's almost like listening to myself in a sense. But one very last question. Jazzy J and the Fresh Prince. No, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Eric B and Rakim. We got you two now. Do y'all see yourself as that duo now?
Look at him, he's so excited.
We're not that duo because I don't.
He's the DJ. I'm the rapper.
Yeah, I'm just a producer. That
always been a fan of producer artists, like that connection.
I mean, we got a really good chemistry. I mean, if this stuff we do makes some noise and do something and should change people's thinking about stuff, yeah, it'd be. I don't know if we'll be like Jazzy and the Fresh Prince, but I mean, I don't know. More like Sonny and Cher.
Yeah, but I'm Sonny and you're Cher.
Y'all younger generation don't know about that though. That I got you, babe. What? Don't even smile and laugh like you know what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah. Well, I hope that this reminds everyone of who the fuck he is and what he can do, and that everyone is banging down the door to work with him. And I know I'll get more time and we'll make more music. There's no question. There's no question. And I want to see him thriving, and I feel like he feels the same for me. That it's like, yeah, if there's something hot, do it, jump on it. I think we're each other's cheerleaders before anything else, and we'll keep working together as long as we can. And also you have to go and do other things and explore other sounds to bring it back to the hive. He goes out and works with DMC on the track, and now I get to be on it. And not to say that that's always the way it's going to go down, but I go out and work with someone else. I'm like, oh, listen to this, listen to what they're doing with the production. And then we jump off on that on a new track. You gotta do that. But there is a thing about finding some, we put in the work to get to know each other. That's going to take time with other people. So I think we've created something very specific to us.
But I think one of the biggest thing is the title of her song, It's Never Too Late. That's the thing that I see with us, where I'm in my 60s. He's in the late 40s. We're not out of step. That's one thing. We're not out of step. So I think to me and her being together is no matter what age you are, you can still do this if you're not out of step of what's happening. Now, and that doesn't mean to do the young stuff, but just what makes you feel good and keep it at a level of, I ain't mad at this. That's where, and us having that combination like that.
Yeah. When you hear the album, the full album, every track is so different from the one before. And yet it still sounds like this amazing combination of the two of us. It's him and it's me. And it's whatever that thing is where we meet in the middle, and every track is different.
Do we have a timeline as to when this project is coming out?
2029. No,
Stop.
No, we're looking at next year, most like next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Between first, second quarter.
So I hope we get invited to the listening event. We'll try to fly. It's on him. The flight's on him.
Oh yeah. Listening event.
It'll be in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, even better. Get your ass over here to New York, bro. So, because we are now reaching the late nights, and Miss Mandy's gonna kill me if she doesn't get her photo shoot.
Oh yeah.
Keith got his hair done for it, so.
Listen, man, look at him looking so fly, though. Listen, ladies.
And this is real hair. This is my hair from a kid.
I don't know if he's single, but ladies, look, he is here. You
don't want to know if I'm single. All the single ladies.
But let's go around the room. Where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Just put in Keith Shocklee, the only one, and all my social media is that way. I'm very simple.
I'll go stalk you. I got you.
Yeah, stalk me.
I'm obviously complicated because I didn't plan this at all. So my Instagram and my YouTube handles are Manda Murhead, which is so funny because people, when they see me in the street, sometimes they call me Murda because they think it's like Murda, Manda Murda.
Ooh,
Like
Mandy
I'm like
Murder.
murder. I'm like, no, that's not. No, it's Manda Murhead. There's a story behind that, but I'll tell it some other time. And my TikTok is Ms. Mandy May Cheatham. But if you search Mandy Mayhem, you'll find me on all the streaming channels and the Facebooks and all the places. So Mandy Mayhem, aka Mandy May Cheatham. That's what's up.
Suave.
Find me everywhere. Not Twitch, my bad. X, formerly known as Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at It's Ray Pearson. It's raypearson.com. Suave.
So I am the heartbroken KDK because we really just found out after the game being tied at the bottom of the ninth, the Mets lost to the Phillies by 1 fucking point.
Oh my God. I gotta hear my Philly fans. I was talking.
Yo, so you know what it was? Because yesterday all these Philly fans wouldn't stop talking shit. So now they wanted to get their lick back by that 1 point. I'm not digging this. See, I made a bet with a security guard at my job. And because I'm Greek, I don't get a lot of Spanish food in my life. Mind you, my boyfriend's Puerto Rican, but his mom cooks. Like, with all the love in the world, she cooks a lot of spaghetti. So I don't get the Spanish food unless I go to like somebody's house and be like, Abuela, can you make me some pernil?
Huh.
So we made this bet that if the Mets made it into the series, not even winning the series, because I dead think it's going to be a Yankees versus Mets series. He's like, I'll buy you 3 Spanish dishes whenever you're hungry. Now, if I lose, so meaning the Mets don't get the 5 games right now, I got to go buy him 1 ticket to the movies.
Wow.
So I really want my Spanish food. I need my Mets to win because I've been a Mets fan. Like, I grew up a Mets fan. You know.
Yeah.
My uncle would, like, put the games on when fucking Shea Stadium was still alive.
Yeah.
Isn't it about that one, right?
So interesting how that you're the third person, this one and this one, who've said that the reason they're fans is because of a relative. And I think about like my dad and how we would watch hockey together. I'm a Canadian, right? So we would watch the Maple Leafs and it was always like, who are they playing, Dad? And he'd say the Ruskies. And it was like, that's the other team is the Ruskies, meaning the Russians. I don't know why, but it was like the Maple Leafs against the Ruskies. And that was like my thing growing up. I don't watch hockey now, but like it does make me think of my dad.
So it's like, for me, my mom, you know, we all have our own sob stories, I guess, growing up. So my sob story included my mom having like 4 heart attacks. So I stayed with her brother for like that time period. She was in the hospital. And being in a Greek family, like we don't talk to each other about feelings. We don't talk to each other about like politics, feelings, and money. Are the 3 things you should never talk in a Greek household. But when my uncle would come home, he picks me up from high school. We go to his house in Flushing. Starts putting the Mets game on, and we're here peeling potatoes. You know, once I can show you guys after, but they're the memorabilia. He went to the '86 World Series when he first emigrated to the United States. Him and my mom. So he bought that right before they won the first World Series, their second World Series. I'm sorry. So ever since then, like that, there's no. I mean, you don't even watch baseball, do you? So I don't gotta worry about him. There's no outside of Met baseball fan in this family because everyone found a way with him. You know, he took his son, my older cousin, to the games at Shea Stadium. I think I only went to 1 because by the time I turned, I want to say 15, 16, I think that's when they started doing the process of getting Citi Field going. So it was like they were on their way out. So to have those memories, but it's something that keeps the family together because nothing else could have.
I love that.
Now, if the Mets don't fucking win, I can't go to work looking like a fool right now. But
Nah, they gonna win. They gonna. I think they're gonna get the Phillies. They gotta get the Phillies.
I went on a tangent. Did you do your closing and I forgot? Suave? Are you frozen? Oh. I was saying, did you do your closing or was I rambling?
No,
he didn't do his closing. He didn't.
Oh, okay.
He didn't do his closing.
Where can they find you?
Oh yeah, he did.
I did my closing. Yeah, I did my
Oh,
closing.
okay. I just want to make
Sorry.
sure.
Yeah, you did that.
But you can find us everywhere at www.rawrzonenyc.com. Gorilla Talk Podcast is probably going to come back sometime this week because we got to talk about Bad Blood and KO kicking Cody's ass. Final Boss is back, so there's a lot to talk about in the wrestling world again. Find us on Elegant Sound Radio, at Elegant Sound Radio, at Puso 82.3 FM. For myself, follow me everywhere at IamIvy.xo_. Yeah, if you don't follow Miss Mandy Mayhem, if you haven't gotten in touch with Mr. Keith Shocklee, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. You must be on some, what is it, K2 now, some super high Molly, some shit. But you're not in your right mind. So tap in with them. Artists, if you actually did listen to this, there's so much things you could have picked up. We'll see who's going to be coming on next week after this. Kind of hard. Like, this is the first time we almost went almost to 3 hours with an episode. So
Yeah,
that's
right?
how you know the
Sorry.
jewels were dropped. No,
Nah,
never
this-
apologize.
Yeah, never.
We don't get stimulating conversation sometimes. We got to drag it out of people.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're around the wrong people for that. Me and her, we'll talk to you for 2 weeks.
Listen, don't get me started. I'll make sure I get all your contact info and call you back whenever. I'll even bring your friend on.
V, he's an incredible rapper also. What a
You
story.
are.
Yeah.
Well, see, now, since I got to split this episode into two from probably one of the radio stations, I'm going to make sure I get your music so we can put it in there. Okay. See, listen, we got to be on Threads more often, bro, because that's what got this.
I told you.
Yeah.
They ain't hiding. They hiding over there.
Yeah.
Yo, Zuckerberg, cut me a check, bro. From myself, Ray Pearson, and our very awesome guest here, I bid y'all a good night, a good fight, a too sweet, and I'll see y'all next week.
Thank you.